Hello, guys. Testing 1 2, testing 1 2. Can y'all hear me okay? I hope y'all can hear me. Hey, what is up? I have King Primetime from Primetime Nostalgia Podcast on. Tuxedo Braxton, which is our independent artist spotlight, has just joined. Can y'all hear me okay? I'm going through my smart mic right now. Testing 1 2, testing 1 2. Can y'all hear me okay? I hope so. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Yes, no, maybe so. Okay. All right. Awesome. Okay. So, hey guys, welcome to Think Different TV. My name is LaShia. I am your host. Think Different TV happens every Monday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I thank you so much for joining in tonight. All of those who have been rocking out with me from the very beginning, and all of those who are just coming into the fold, come on in. Got some piping hot tea tonight. Got an awesome topic, an awesome independent artist spotlight, and also an awesome financial tip for tonight. So I am super excited because we're actually going to do things a little different. We're going to mix it up tonight. And before I even get the show started, Think Different TV could not be made possible without my sponsors, which I just remembered I don't have my glass. So I'm going to step in here, get my glass real quick, come back in, because this is unlike me. I usually have my glass with me, so hold on really quickly. All right, so our sponsors, of course, we got to talk about our sponsors, right? Our sponsors are Anointed Ads, an award-winning graphic design and website company, 14 years in the making, over 100 websites created. This guy, Phil, he is so professional. He gets your stuff done in a jiffy. He is amazing, okay? He's created the flyer for Think Different TV, as well as flyers for me in the past for my financial business. He's also created flyers for many others for their businesses, for the events. Just amazing. You just know an Anointed Ad because of the eye-catching designs. You just know that it's an Anointed Ad, right? And he is actually offering 15% off when you mention Think Different TV. So when you're ready to get your project started, ready to get that website created, or that flyer created for your business or your event, he is ready. So just mention Think Different TV, all right? And then make sure you call him. You can call him directly at 609-534-0237. You can hit him up here on IG at Anointed Ads, ANOINTEDADS. You can go to his website to check out more of his work. You can also submit a request form on his website at www.anointedads.com. He's ready to work with you guys, so make sure you go out there. You support Phil. He black-owned business. He's getting things done. So professional. Amazing work, right? And then we also have Euphoria Water, which I need to get a swig right now because I've been running around and just preparing for the show, and I need a swig of my Euphoria Water. Euphoria Water is the cleanest, healthiest water in Philly. Alkaline water with minerals, no additives, no chemicals. It is, like when I say it's the cleanest, purest, healthiest water in Philly, let me tell you, it's medical grade water, okay? All right? It is anti-aging, anti-inflammatory, detoxifying, hydrogen rich, antioxidant, alkalized water, highest pH, who could ask for any more, right? So good, so refreshing. It's like as soon as I drink it, which I'm gonna do right now, my body is like, thank you. So if you're gonna hydrate, guys, hydrate the right way. Get yourself some Euphoria water today. Like I said, he is here on IG, UPHORIAWATER. Or you can hit up Captain directly because he does deliver in the Philadelphia area, 267-707-8279. That's Euphoria Water. Okay. So those are our sponsors, and I'm so excited because I'm actually going to get a chance to start off a little differently tonight. Usually I start off with the social topic, but I'm going to start with our independent artist spotlight. Now, in the cutting room floor, I was just going to switch it around, but I might as well just throw it out there that I'm going to do it first because, I mean, I'm super excited to interview this guy, okay? So, I recently did an interview with Tone the Artist from This Is Art LLC, and he works with a ton of artists, okay? So many artists, right? And one of the artists is Braxton, and Braxton, Tuxedo Braxton, is amazing, okay? Like, I'm listening to his EP, Power of Shalom, and I'm just like blown away because it's like a combination of spoken word and hip hop, and oh my gosh, it's so much knowledge, and he's dropping gems in every bar. Like, you just gotta listen to it. But let me tell you, it speaks to me a lot because I am in Philly, and I used to be part of a scene where it was a lot of spoken word artists that I would see on stage, and so it was very reminiscent of that. So it took me back to 2004, 2005 when I used to be sitting in the audience and listening to a plethora of artists, spoken word artists such as like Shiest and Sam I Am and oh my gosh, Miss Wise, and there's a lot of people that were coming through and doing spoken word. So when I heard his album, I was just like, oh my gosh, this is taking me back, and it gave me all the feels, right? Not only that, when you have someone like Tone the Artist that you're working with, it's just like gold. Everything that you work on is gold. Between his lyricism, you know, the production, the delivery, I'm just blown away. I'm just blown away. And this guy is, you know, he's an artist, but he's a very hardworking man, you know, working to spread the word about financial literacy and all of these great things, and to also spread knowledge and history in his lyrics. Like, you can tell that this man is on a mission to educate, all right? He's on a mission to educate. And like I said, it's very refreshing. It's very refreshing because we all know that, you know, sometimes you listen to the radio and you're not exactly getting your dose of knowledge. Is very much commercial and just to get your booty moving and get you twerking and you know, stuff like that. And, you know, very rarely do we hear music that really touches us in a way that we feel like we walked away with something. We feel like our IQ is a little higher. Let me tell you, like, I would, like, my playlist definitely has Power of Shalom on there, you know, because it's just back-to-back hits. Like, I mean, I don't know how much more I can say about this guy. I mean, he's a great guy. He's very intelligent, good-looking guy. Okay, y'all. And he is just so about, you know, educating people, and that is really, like I said, is really refreshing. You know, to to get down and start writing and just write so well. Like I can't even say any more about this guy, but I'm gonna bring him on first because, like I said, he's a hardworking man, and I know how long my show be running sometimes. So we're gonna bring him in because I have some questions for him, and we're gonna just start it off like this. So here we go.
And let me make sure that everything is a go here. Hello.
Hey, LaShia, how are you?
Let me see something real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Say something.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Oh no. Oh. Hold on real quick. Testing 1 2. You can hear me. I can hear you. Yeah. Okay, great. I can hear you. Awesome. So, oh my gosh, like I'm at a loss for words because, first of all, I'm super excited to even be doing this interview with you. I know how busy you are, and I appreciate you for jumping on Think Different TV and doing this exclusive interview with me.
I got coffee. I'm good.
Awesome. Coffee is always good. So I have some questions, but I want you to introduce yourself to the people. Tell them, who you are, what you do, and what you want people to think of when they hear Braxton.
Sure. First of all, Trini Hotep, what's up, man? Soulful Tea, I see all you. But my name is Braxton. Full-time, I'm an investment counselor. I would say full-time passion is definitely writing music. Just creative writing in general. So next album is on the way. Bird is a Genius, Chapter 1, Born Leader. You'll get my last album, For the Love of the Game, on all major streaming platforms.
Awesome. Now, so that's the question I wanted to ask you, because you do have the Power of Shalem EP. So is that the same as For the Love of the Game, or is that?
So I wrote Power of Shalem in 2019. And then in 2020, I wrote and released Black August. And then 2021 was For the Love of the Game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I was like, I have it all mixed up in my playlist. Yeah. I was like, okay, which one is which? There's three songs, because we already kind of like have messages back and forth, and I love all of them. But I picked I usually play 2, but I'm going to play 3 tonight because I'm feeling frisky. And I want people to hear your music. But I want you to talk a little bit about, there's a few things that I noticed, and I'm really big on visuals, and I'm really big on, the meaning behind certain things. So you have 3 EPs, right? You're soon to release a 4th.
2 EPs, 1 album.
2 EPs, okay, 1 album, and you're due to release another one soon. And I want you to talk about, like, the meaning behind the titles of, because I know I titled my album a certain thing, and I had a meaning behind it. What was your meaning behind each of the titles of your 2 EPs and your album to come?
Yeah. Well, in 2019, I was not planning on writing an EP. I was actually just planning on writing a song just to see how I enjoyed it. I'd always loved to write, and I always loved to rap and write raps. But as far as actually going into the studio, that was never a big thing for me. It just never really interested me. I wanted to play basketball and that type of thing. And when I'd gone to school and grad school, I was more of an activist. So I really didn't care the rap things. And I think in large part, I really felt like people wouldn't really want to hear what I had to say anyway, or how I said it. So I stayed away from it. But I remember Lil Nas X dropped old, what's it called? Cracker Barrel.
Yeah, that
Old Town
song,
Road. Old Town Road.
Old Town Road.
And I was like, oh no, come on now. Now if he can do that, then I can at least go into the studio and just for the experience of it. So I hit up the first person that I could think of that was directly involved in music, which is my brother Kevin, rest in peace. And he said, reach out to Tone. So he gave me Tone's number. Me and Tone hadn't spoken in a couple of years. I called Tone. I think I was in Staten Island at the time. Yeah, and I called him. I said, I want to make a track. Came over, listened to a couple of tracks, and I said, okay, let me do it again. I want to do it again. So I wrote Manifesto. That was the first studio song I'd ever written. And then, so let me do it again. I want to see if I can rap fast this time. That's when I wrote Ikado's Revenge. Then I wrote Echelon as well. After that, I think order which one. Then, on August the 15th, my brother Kevin died.
I'm so sorry.
Thank you. And him and Tone were very, very close. And Tone is my cousin, by the way. So him and Tone were very close. And it hit Tone pretty hard as well. And they used to call Kevin Shalem. Kevin used to call him Shalem. Shalem means perfect peace in Hebrew. And I decided for the album, since he was really the only person that I knew of that really believed in me, I wanted to name it after him. So I called it Power of Shalom because I wanted to channel his spirit. That's how that name is.
Yes.
Long-winded, but I like to give the backstory behind things.
Yeah, and I knew Shy too. So that hit me as well. And I'm so sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
He was a wonderful spirit, and that's why I want to see. This is the reason why I do this show, because I know there's a backstory for a lot of different artists, and I wanted to make sure that people know that as well. Because we could talk about the music all day long, but this is one of the things that I wanted to just let people know. Like, this is a show where we get all in the mix. We don't want to get too deep. Well, I just wanted to make sure that people knew the meaning behind the title of your albums and everything like that. So, and then your second EP, what is the meaning?
The second EP is called Black August, and I called it Black August for a couple of reasons. Number one, I wanted to have the overall theme as being a little bit more, I guess, a little less triumphant. And then I wanted it to be slightly darker and have a militant undertone. And when you know the history of our people, historically speaking, there's something special about the month of August, where that's where the most revolutions take place. It just happens to be, I don't know if it's a coincidence, but because of that, since undertones anyway, those undertones and overtones, I said, okay, I'm going to call it Black August, and this is besides the fact that while I don't equate death with black or black with death, generally when people hear of the black something, they'll think of something that's sad. So August is a sad month because that's the month that my brother passed away. So it had a little bit of a double meaning. It was to commemorate, because I had it dropped. My brother died August the 15th, 2:30 a.m., 2019. So I dropped the album, and I made sure that the album was officially available to be listened to and streamed on August the 15th, 2:30 a.m., 2020. So everything I do, I want to make sure it's following or it has a certain degree of continuity, because music is something that is a great mediator between very different people. We're going in a lot of different directions, but after a while, we get into a rhythm, a frequency, and we can meet each other on the frequency, and now we're both nodding at each other. So we become more agreeable in that way. We bridge gaps with music. But I think in order to do that between souls, there has to be some continuity in terms of what you're doing and what you're creating. So that's Black August.
Black August. And then you have your album, For the Love of the Game. So what's the meaning behind that? You know?
Well, it was I'm a competitor. And mostly with myself. And I take losses very hard on myself, or things that I view as failure. And when Kevin passed away 4 days before he died, he somewhat urgently encouraged me to pursue music, so that when he passed away, I felt like I was indebted to him to try to be this big star. Things didn't take off like wildfire the way they would for something that's just, shall we say, less sophisticated or less nuanced. The simpler things is what really gets viral when it comes to listening to music today, right? As what you were talking about, the lack of that is attractive.
Yep.
It allows people to escape, and I understand that. But it was very difficult for me to digest at the time, and I felt like I was letting Kevin down. And I really had to reassess after the first 2 EPs that really didn't get any traction, or the type of traction that I wanted. Why did I even start this thing in the first place? Is this even what Kevin wanted? I don't think it was. I just don't. I think I was just projecting whatever onto him because my brother died. So I decided to call it For the Love of the Game, because it's like, well, why do I do this? I don't really care about streams. I don't care about fame. I don't care about groupies or parties. I don't care about being buddy-buddy with. I care about transmitting the best message that I can through my music as skillfully and balancing gracefully and technicality as possible. That's really all I care about. But it's I do it for the love of the game. It's that craftsmanship that I enjoy.
So first of all, I hear the music, and like I said, it's a mixture of spoken word and hip hop, and you drop gems in every bar, and I said that you're on a mission to educate. Is that now your mission, or is that something that just is by happenstance? You just are writing, and it just, if it educates you, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But like, what is your overall goal with your message?
I think, okay, overall, I would like to show people, and I think this is something that people can hear. There tends to be this misconception about quote-unquote conscious people or quote-unquote conscious rap, that it doesn't have the same oomph as whatever. And can you have that balance between the substance and what really makes things stick when it comes to the music that they listen to? And because of that, I want to make sure I'm always striving for the standard of having the perfect balance between the two. Whereas, like, okay, rapping a little bit more than we would prefer, but man, this hook is dope, or this beat is perfect, and he keeps it well balanced. Where I'm getting the things that get me hooked, and he can also still get his. That, from an artistic standpoint, is where I'm coming from. But also when it comes to consciousness, I want to make sure I am normalizing Pan-Africanism, normalizing Black nationalism, normalizing militants, so that it permeates through the culture much more, I guess, quietly. or subtly, to the point that it's like, whoa, okay, look at, we're just like that. We wake up and we're acting more militant. We didn't even think about it, but it's because it's been slowly, bit by bit, with the bars that we just say, oh, but he also said slowly, bit by bit. And it's not really to educate, but I have no problem saying it. It is definitely to propagandize. It is to
Oh,
propagandize Black nationalism. It is to propagandize Pan-Africanism. It is to propagandize statehood for Black people. It is to propagandize Black brilliance, which is why I don't mind using big words when I rap. I don't care if people think it's too technical or whatever. Everything that I do is to represent, right? It's
yes.
the best that I can. The best that I
So I saw a video that you posted on your page. This is what made me reach out to you, because I was like, oh my gosh, like we need to have this discussion. And you were talking about how when you create as a creative, you were talking about as a means for income. You know, you don't want your music to reflect more than 20% of your income, or 10%. I think it was one of those percent.
yeah.
Yeah, but this is also a thing that I've seen a lot of people like. I have a job because I know that you know, music is a passion of mine. Is not necessarily to pay my bills, you know. And there's nothing wrong with people saying that this is going to be a means of my income, but just be prepared, because music is very subjective, and some people may like it, some people may not like it, and you have to be very prepared, you know, to face all of that. And you know, you may not get the gigs that you want to get that are paying gigs. You may not, you know, capitalize, you know, or be able to monetize your passion right away.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to be prepared for that. So how important is that? Because I know that you're also in investments, and, you know, we invest in a lot of things. We invest in everything we do. Sometimes it's a cost, but when we invest in our craft, we expect some type of return, and sometimes that may not be the return that we are hoping for. Sometimes we might invest a whole lot of money into putting an album together and getting, you know, as women, we gotta get the makeup, we gotta get the dress, you know, we gotta get the hair done, you know, and you know, and then we might go out and do a gig, and it might be like $150, and we don't put like $300 into ourselves, we really get half the money back, you know. So we like, is this really worth it? So can you talk about that a little bit? Because I don't know if you was just going off the cuff and just doing a video just off the top of your head, and like, but I watched the entire thing and I was like, yo, like he is giving us the business right now. So can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I was just going off the cuff in that. So I'm in finance, and when I got started in finance, I was working all commission.
Mm.
Because selling financial plans is a really hard sell for a lot of people, because people are mistrusting of people in the finance industry, for one thing, or if you're dealing with family, you know how family turn when you start a business, all of a sudden they start looking the other way, and you feed yourself off of people at least giving you the chance to try to sell them. So financial planning is just a much harder sell. Like, that's just sales in general. But what that taught me was this thing about when you have a very hard sell, it's very important that you're making sure that that's not taking so much of the time that you can actually sustain. And when it comes to music, something that you have to create, its whole value, in your opinion, for us artists, the entire value is based upon It's authenticity and where it comes from inside of us. And a lot of times that doesn't sell well. That's not an easy sell for the mass. You know, we in a lot of senses, we're about true soul to soul art. It's one every million of us that make it. You know, it's
Mm-hmm.
a sell. It's just not an easy sell. Consciousness and true artists. That's not a cool thing anymore. It's more about stuff that passes through the machine. So because of that, don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to get anybody away from their dreams. I mean, listen, this is my 4th album in 4 years. So clearly I like to do it. But I would never let music be more than 10% of my, I because I know for a fact I want to sacrifice the integrity of my music. But I do know that if I did, it would get me a lot of money.
Mm.
And that is textbook soul selling. Right? And I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that's not, you know, I got into music so that I could be myself and do what I want to do.
Exactly.
And so because of that, if something is taken care of or paying for 10% of your life, in a sense, it almost owns you. Like if you own 10% of a company, you're considered in an ownership relationship, or in what is it called? You know what I'm saying? Control. You're in a control.
Yes.
So the same way, it's like, I don't know if I want music to have that much of an income for me, because I don't do it for the income. I'm doing it for the passion. So I like to keep it, and I'll make my money over here. If I get a little quarters, nickels, and dimes, okay. But I'll make my money here, so I don't have to blend the two. So it doesn't have to be a conflict of interest, because
Absolutely.
music is a hard sell. It's like selling life insurance.
Like I said, it's very subjective, and it's just like any type of creative, arts, people who paint, people who, singers, rappers, spoken word artists, writers, authors, you know, people who are creating from their mental, and it's not like a job. It's very hard to, the people that do profit a lot are the people that are selling stuff that are like everyday necessity type stuff, like toothpaste or toothbrushes or deodorant or, clothing. They're able to make money because, there's a market for it, and there's a market for our music and for our artistry as well. But it's not a big market if, a lot of people aren't feeling what you're saying, and they're like, oh, because I mean, a lot of people go out there and buy Jay-Z stuff and everything like that, but very few people I hear actually out there rocking Common or Most Def or, Talib Kweli or, the very, very few, or and I'm just like, wow, like it's really, and it's also the push you have behind you too, like that push,
Mm-hmm.
that the exposure. Not everybody has the exposure. Sometimes you're just known in your immediate area, and some people have that push to be known across the overseas and across the country. So it's all about, how much you have pushing behind you to push you forward. And like you said, it is a control aspect when it comes down to it. When it controls most of your income, when most of your income is coming from your music, then it controls your life, and then it is not fun anymore. It takes the fun out of everything. It's just like I now have to create.
That also, the people that are technically paying you and paying that 10, paying that or paying you that. Wow, they might want you to shut up, and they are the ones that your bills. So in a sense, you are going to shift your music to suit what they want. It's like if you got a bunch of shareholders, you can talk about what's the right CEO, but you decided to go public. So now you owe the shareholders. I don't want to be owned. I don't want to feel like they are my shareholder, like they have control over me. No, this is me with y'all, and I'm sharing with y'all because I love y'all. But not something where that's where I'm coming from as far as making sure I'm keeping music in its proper place. For me personally, I'm saying about me personally. Some people can do it, make their whole life. I can't to make it my whole income or part of my. One, my biggest fear is selling it. By that I mean letting myself.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I'm ready to play some music. I'm ready for everyone to hear the amazingness that is Braxton. Is it Tuxedo Braxton or is it Braxton? What do you want to be like?
I was gonna call myself Tuxedo Braxton, but now I was like, nah, let me like you take the off Facebook, just make it Facebook, like but I was like, and by the time I came, I had already made my Gmail account. It said Tuxedo Braxton, so I was like, I just go
Yeah, it's like me now. Like I done went by LaShia so much. Like if I drop an EP and say, okay, my name is Kaisha Smith, they gonna be like, who? So the first one that I wanted to play was Akata's Revenge because at the beginning, it kind of sounds like you're introducing yourself. So I wanted to play that first to kind of set the scene, let everybody know where you're coming from. So I'm going to play that first. Here we go. Hoodoo. And don't make fun of me. I know I'm squinting right now. That's because I'm supposed to be wearing glasses and I'm not wearing my glasses. So everybody always jump on me about that. Even Tone, you need to wear your glasses.
Good morning. My name is Braxton. I welcome you to this brief time of fellowship. My hope is that by the end of this EP, we're going to have better understanding of each other.
Pause it. Okay, what's up?
AJ, what up? But actually, it's funny. The guy AJ, see Doug Dimmadome, we recorded a song in his closet. He got a walk-in closet, and he let us use his closet while he was out, so we could record it soundproof. And we recorded most of the album, most of the EP actually, in his closet.
What?
Yeah.
That sound is crazy. Are you serious? A closet?
My first time actually recording in the studio was for this last album. So everything else has just been either in my closet or AJ's closet.
Oh wow. I mean, I've stood in the middle of a room and recorded. So like, the engineering on this is amazing. So just to have that backstory, that's crazy. All right, here we go.
You learn more about me in this vice versa. And who knows if we're lucky next time around, we might even meet again. And while I have you here today. Yeah, let me make this quick and I'll run with a purpose. This man, African mathematician, no problem, the guns and the nervous. If it's me much better, I'll be much better. I'll be competitive. People that keep it, deep in the letter. I'm reaching the better, just reading ahead of my people to set. I'm reaching together, the people are better than 11 years, teaching the academy, yeah. Reading my people is what I'm conceding, I'm what I'm conceding, the destiny, yeah. Writing with them, my pastor, I was a second student, shot became inaccessible, not a doctor, it was strictly medical. I just injected with data to let them be brought and present to the woman technical. I was destroying the problem, and that's what keeping the nature right and he's acceptable. Pyrotechnical, laser, ethanol, asymmetrical, laser, ethanol, laser, ethical, laser, ethanol, laser, ethanol, and you don't know what it's said to me, trying to no, but I am him. You know that, oh, this is the thing, it's a bit, even now, I'm like, you know, I'm just trying to fit around nigga gets poppin', let my red, blue, black, just like paraphernalia. Set aside from a game, fucking off the love. Price fade to the cheap, I'm not familiar. Revolutionary sweeping the cop to jail. Kick rocks and pop, pick locks and the next time from the city that is not familiar. My life familiar as a cop to spill with lots of old and deep cops build this black and 10 minutes in my office. So let's drop this last name, gotta build the children, gotta build the children, let's build the children. Without yourself, brothers, we build the building. We keep the skills and just kill the children. I just keep the coding, I count my life, single note. My whole range is cultivated on the saxophone. Pyramid of rap from more intentional. Little bro, this is not the death of fortune. In words of my garbage rap of torture. So far from the apron, so easy with the gateway to a higher plane of consciousness. When you talk about money, it's over changing. Now y'all winner, with kind of wear, without a pocket space. So whether or not you say, kick out in the teeth, I'm not the space. Instead of off in the cause of the meanwhile, to the freestyle, 12 years to college revenge. More where that came from. What we represent is the seeds of hip hop. The splendor of the black man, woman, and child. Glory of the nation. Black African power. Thank God when ain't my destiny. I'm all rise. I never make it, I'm ahead of my peers and the OG, tell me I'm ahead of my years, and I never should run up to the top tiers, on to the plane, and I never show fear of my fight with a threat, and I'm rich with tricks, I put it in heaven, and I'll be the actors, so we all the time, my brother, they get it, well, ready, well, I can't get to the heaven, don't think, I don't think, no respect, or respecting, not anything, that's imperfection, but that is just credit, this limit, this part of this letter, forgetting, I'm not sure that heaven is best, but I legend, I said it prophetic, and you're mad affected, it left to the best, I ain't stressing, I'm pressing, but checking, I'm testing, I'm stepping ahead of them, stepping ahead of them, head of them, veteran, slapping, I'm rapping, attacking, rejection, I'm matching, accepting, you lacking direction, kick out on the message, no further reception. I don't catch my breath. Since you gon' give me the halftime yet, but this black crowd rap never. Move into the upper echelons of the soul experience, into the ancestral plane. Not physical place with structures and institutions that we know of. There's the corridors of our minds and recesses of our spirits. We are the heirs of a great and noble cause. One nation. Please be seated.
So, who produced it?
That was by a brother named Clichy.
Clichy.
Clichy, yeah.
Okay.
Out of Newark, North Jersey.
Wow. First of all, production, delivery, lyricism. Like, I was just looking like, oh my gosh, ew. Like, I couldn't say ew. Like, you know how, you listen to somebody, they real good, and you do that stretch face, like, ooh. Oh, the artwork.
Yeah.
The artwork for Power of Shalom. Who did that?
Brother who did that one, he's a brother. He went to Seton Hall with me. He's a couple years younger, but oh man, I'm so. Well, you know what? I don't feel bad. So I described the cover art to him in excruciating detail. He paints the thing for me. The thing is like the size of like this wall and background, right? Like it's taller than me. I'm like 5'10". He makes this big thing. Picture of sends it to me. I do this cover art or album, and then he went and sold it to somebody. I was like, hold on, man, it's mine. But anyway, I don't remember his name, but he wild out on me.
But it's your cover art, so it's everywhere. It's associated with you. So it's dope though. I was looking at it, I was like, oh wow, it's a lot of detail, like you said, and it's a lot of things that I was like, okay, I see that you're like in the center of it. And real quick, everybody, y'all have to go on to YouTube, Tuxedo Braxton, subscribe to his channel, like, comment, share his music. He has all his music on there, and y'all will get a chance to see what I'm talking about the cover art. Also, Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes. It's everywhere, right?
Yeah, all of them everywhere. Yeah.
It's everywhere. It's everywhere. But if y'all want to see what I'm talking about, like the cover art is dope. That's why I was asking about it. Okay. Like I said, I'm very visual, so I was noticing things. I saw everything, so I was like, oh, okay. The next one I wanted to play, and you heard that clearly, like like I said, I got a new piece of equipment, so I just want to make sure everything's good.
Yeah, I thought I heard it pretty well.
Okay. All right. Awesome.
I'm saying, so I don't know.
Okay, cause like I got this new smart mic, and I was just like trying to make sure that everything is on the up and up. I know you can hear me. I can hear you perfectly fine. I just want to make sure everybody else can hear it. All right, we're go ahead and go into this next song. Cause I'm gonna say my favorite song for last, but Black August. Not saying they didn't. Not all my favorite songs, but like my favorite song. But Black August is the next song that I want to play, featuring Tone the Artist. All right. And I want to play this song, if I can find it. I done played your whole entire album on here, so sometimes I be like, yo, I want to just jump right into it, but sometimes I got to like find it first. All right. And I really should throw my glasses on. There it is. Awesome.
This is art. Rest in the seed of the mitochondria weed. So the strong as energy and with bathed in the ancient seas. Hypochondria, mind made of hyperconscious and free from the bliss of ignorance. Why would I told this therefore be? We're like described in the scrolls of the Western Balls and the Sphinx as an intellectual and sort of all arch never cease. Lyrical gin practitioner with rhyming hyperbolically, giving entrance to the psychotropic properties of an herb. Ingested my questions more that of Socrates. For mental riches got no time to peak. My sworn statement, I draw a page from the book of Horace. I take flight without right just to keep the forest waiting. The mental refrain, I leave her shaking the floor, the table desk. Biologically, why his genes never born and faded. I'm more any story, any form, no, all the duty sworn. Underneath the no basis, quantum mechanics, not for everyday critics. I pair myself between universes that's parallel. Racks and Tony in the studio ain't prepared as well. Everything that makes me, you can never bring me. Let's see what you gave me. So good, so good, so standing attention is hidden, open and listening, draft sentences, 2 minutes to rise and exact vengeance on any man or system against the black matrix. He message the black man, sending peace to my black women, police and police. Our streets be the master gender rehab, the adjacent training tactics that get up in and expel the immoral back to the cabins from which he entered. I'll be out in Lagos villas, chilling with some Haitian women, conversating, talking nation building over bacon dinners. Niggas' minds weak to the sheep-minded, running pasture. It's flag waving, there shall be none after it has the evil side. The psycho-pharmaceutical warfare is waged on it. Sinister schemes become more apparent. I'm more prepared with the generals, those strategic minds. The strategic kind, we get disarray, though we realign. I think it wise and machetes, because the sugar cane became the weapon of choice. Seconds after the bullets rain. It's what you're asking, ain't it rap to get you activated? Better that than complaining, Braxton never came with it. Or you thought we was finna spin the bars in disregard? I claim that you constructed and exploit all the system's flaws. Nigga, nah, this is John Zombie with metaphors. These chips move through this jumpy border of weapons cause. So heretofore, it's a state I remain exempted to. Black August insurrection, this what we elected for. All facts, we congregated all black and secret beaters and tribunals and money broadcasts. Deployed infantry, the former penitentiary occupants, transformational shape of the polar opposites. And so is logic, which always displays the politics, the golden rules, control the golden rule, we adopted it. I say family, glad you gathered in attendance, sit tight. I'm motion, I'm preemptive strike at midnight, 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 midnight. Everything that makes me, you can never break me. Let's see what you did, you shouldn't feel the standing toe to toe with the guy.
Yes, yes, yes. First of all, like I said, anytime you work with tonal artists, and it was like my best friend. Like anytime you work with tonal artists, it's like fire. Oh, like that's why when I saw feature tone, I was like, oh, I already know this is gonna be fire.
You know what's funny about that track? So, I mean, I've no tonal thing. I thought it was hilarious. Tone was kicking with me for a couple of years. I was like, because a lot of times when we write shit, I be like, yo, just crash shit, stay like a grown man slumber party, just at the crib, you know, and write whatever. And this time, he was thinking about what needed to be done with that song, Black August. And so I was like, well, I'm about to drive. Right. I wanted to go pick her up. By the time I came back, he'd already written it. But he wanted me to record it. Or I don't know how to work. I just rap. I just write. In the closet over there, you know, about to sing, and he had so many takes because he didn't get it just like he wanted, and finally he got it just like he wanted. Now I wasn't even recording. It was good. Oh my God! I didn't laugh, but I walked away. Hey, yo, he was mad as shit.
He was like, really?
Voice and everything.
I finally did it right, and you didn't record at all?
No, I don't even know how to work those things.
He be getting me to do the same, so I'm like, listen, I'm not trying. But you know, all I know is shift key, shift key, shift key, shift
and
key.
I get pause and or the space bar or something like that. I don't know.
Not shift key. You right, the space bar, space bar, space bar, space bar. Crazy. Oh my gosh. So I'm gonna play this last because I know you gotta make a hard stop at 10 because you said you gotta get up in the morning, get to that bag. I totally understand. I have off Tuesday, so I can do the show on Monday and be up until like 5 o'clock in the morning and not feel nothing.
Oh, okay.
So the last one I'm gonna play, I love this song, and it's called Manifesto. Okay. I love it, and it's featuring Donnie Love Blue. All right. And I absolutely love how y'all compliment each other in the song. It is just like, it's amazing. So I wanted to play that because it's super dope. And just what you saying, everything is just like your whole all your albums, the EP, everything is just amazing. All your music is amazing. So you got a forever fan in me. So I can't wait till you drop the next album because I'm going to be like, that's going on my playlist too. Let me see if I can find it. There it is. And the music, oh my gosh. Oh, like a jazzy type.
It's only reach for emotions we can't feel, and hated by baby mothers knowing that father. So we as the bastard sons would rather than cats heal than exercise the demons that bit in his heart. See, my brother killed another, the trauma we can't deal. We didn't know the looking, so never had bother. Maybe pictures making wishes for children is black. Still, the dream and conservative missions to Harvard. When politicians are positioned for catching the crack deals, the wheels keep spinning but never move farther. Yeah. Pro-black practices, militant vocabularies, violence and verticality, opposites verticality. For the land where the natural dreams are scrutinized, that you can buy market restrained rules scrutinized. I meditate after separation of future lines and doorposts, ready for the state of kind of brutalized. I now respect facing the west where they keep that. Now proceed to run the game to my major reflection. Now if you had to choose, would you rather be on time or on point? I have too many words to prove, but not as much to lose. Prefer to go down birth and super had no real choice. The brothers bring the third to make up time for where they shoot. In the leg work, the end of the music, black in the joints. We're walking up. I've been real since Hill Flickers and Artists. But I'm just trying to get somebody daughter up here. I like the loyal, blood drop skin, smelling lush, grape seed, oil dust. Man, that's a loyal flush. Ace of spades, moving from the cleans to the payments. Blood red, the juice, turning in the streets. Red bridges treated like they Phoenix for that evil with bread and trap point and street and trying to sink his teeth in them. Either because you won't marry the fit of breathe with them, or because you keep swearing that you don't need it so bad. I don't brag them, I let them have it. So after the lonely dancing, I'm probably get them. And it goes, but I keep them so like, hey, that's the way it goes. And whether I play a role, you know, to get you is to go to accommodation, revolutionary cogitation. Been awakened the day my state is making half awakened. Cause we got a patience and conversation. We had a self-determination and militants in conversation. Before the pieces, it's for the legions, I'm for the legions. My four pieces before the legions was for the pieces. This freaking genius was misreceived, the schizophrenic. The cricket me and my scripture breathing and defeated. I'm a master in the demon's feet on these wicked streets. And I ain't finding you not believers and sense either. I see them hiding like truth in the highway to jeans. And I can be the God that evil if they prefer to see. Abraham, same father as was a Christian. I pray forever that he will influence and pop sinners and God breath. And never sidestep in the opposition. From my father's wishes, I accept in the God dimension. Adding the six, my perception, more than my five senses. And my perfection itself, the truth of five. Put it behind the curtain, cause certain things can provide wisdom. Behind the scenes, I find the schemes and divide. Transition from the hundreds to thousands, thousands to millions. They bring society down to my children. Every hour and minute, unity, power, and stillness. My duty down to my engine, and this is now my religion. I'm never slacking, so I'm never lacking. And in my honor, and I'm on it. Hey, I keep climbing, keep grinding, keep stacking the legacy from my seat to the foot I live in the moment. I'm so focused with this locked on business. This face has me kind of self a Stockholm syndrome. No longer not who's mission, but the black is so much escape from this dark strong prison. A decent time, my so-called decent job to keep alive. I think it was real survive, I'm being loud. Speaking aloud, I couldn't see them out. Cause what I see is only seen from between the eyes. Wasting time on color artists and watching. Try to follow suit, but I couldn't get from the structure. Fake guy, you just jokers and trying gotcha. Say they never been to make you thankful without their watch this. Then remastered, man, we a complete package. So I can switch lanes and still find my feet backwards. These cheap bastards want me to shake the cleaner patches. I'll bring them to the stream of drunk, they even sinking fast. Tell me no. Economic inequality, how are the gaps seen? The schemes on the ignorant lesson of art. Group economics for the unity, you and me, that's real. A menace to society, something is gone. Catch a body is the policy, probably that. Ills the swallow, but the problem is no one solving. The politicians, opposition, the cops, the crap. Deals, the wheels keep spinning, but never move farther.
That's all I got to say on that. And like that one is like a perfect mix of like, it's like spoken word, you got hip hop in there, you got like the R&B kind of feel, you got jazz in there. Like it's like it overwhelmed my senses when I first heard it. I was like, oh, wait a minute, hold on, let me run that back.
And big shout out to Donnie Love Blue. When, again, that was the first song I'd ever recorded, Manifesto. So when I heard it, it had the jazzy sound, which is what I was going for. And with me rapping the way I was rapping, I said it sounds a little bit too masculine. And I told Tone, I was like, I think it needs feminine energy. And he said, I think so too. So we spoke with a couple of young ladies in his network that sang, and they didn't really do it that much for us. You know, either that or they just weren't disciplined when it comes time to be at the studio on time and just being professional. So I lost interest in them, and finally Donnie Love Blue, she happened to come one day to AJ's house, because that's where we all were. That's where we record everything. And something was bothering her that day, but she's just immensely talented, especially when it comes to writing. I think that's really her gift. She wrote that hook in about 10 minutes.
Oh, wow.
And then she left, just like that. She wrote the hook. Actually, she probably wrote that hook in about, I'd say about less than 10 minutes, recorded it maybe 10 more minutes, and then she left. So what people hear, she's really the one that brings it to life, I think. Otherwise, it just would have been another rapping song. You know what I mean? Like, here you go, this nigga trying to rap, trying to preach to us. It just would have been a bunch of that. You know? It would have been didactic if it didn't have her specific feminine energy on it, I think. So I think she's really to credit for that.
Amazing. I love the stories behind the music. Yeah. What was that show behind the music? It was like, you think you know, but you have no idea.
Oh, that was Diary. That was Diary, right? Wasn't that
Diary? I think it was like Diary or something like that. It was on MTV? No, VH1. It was VH1. And they used to always say that at the beginning. And it's like, I love the stories behind the songs. Like, when I was recording my album, and I was just gonna make this real quick. When I was recording my album, like, I remember everything about recording and everything like that. So every time I hear the song, I remember what was going on that day. I remember what, like, everything that happened. So I was just like, yo, this part right here, like, it's a part where I don't even say the H on the words. I just say like I took the H off the beginning of the word. And it's just like, every time E, who was my manager at the time and also the engineer of the album, every time he hears it, he always says it without the H now, because we remember like the process and everything. So I always love the stories behind making the music, and just to know that she was like, oh, what? Wrote it down in 10 minutes. Yeah. Said, okay, give me headphones. Recorded in 10 minutes. Like, all right, I gotta go do some, like. So that is amazing. Oh my gosh. So I thank you so much for your time tonight, Braxton. Tuxedo Braxton. Y'all go out there, y'all follow him on IG under Tuxedo Braxton. Check out his YouTube channel. Also, his music is available on all platforms. So do not sit there and say, oh, I didn't know, because I'm giving you the scoop right here, right now. Just go on, type it in Tuxedo Braxton. All right. He has 2 EPs, an album, and an album on the way. You know, so right now he's pregnant. So he got an album on the way, y'all. So y'all gotta check that out, okay? When it come out, when it drop, when that baby drop, y'all better be out there ready to get it, because this dude is spitting facts. He has so much. He has so much he wants to give to you guys, and like when people are willing to share their gift, knowing that they like the way he is right now, he's like, listen, I was gonna put this out there. Y'all like it, y'all don't, is what I feel is my passion. And so y'all need to get there while the getting is good. Because some people they keep their talents a secret.
Right.
And he's sharing his gift with y'all. So go out there. You got Power of Shalom, you got Black August, you have For the Love of the Game, and the newest album is
Bird is a Genius, Chapter 1, Born Leader.
Absolutely. So y'all need to, as soon as that joint drop, I was like, oh, the baby's here. Y'all need to go get it. It's going to my playlist. Y'all need to get yours. All right. So do you have any last words for the people? Any advice, like, you know, words of advice for up and coming artists, or, you know, just in general?
One final word. So for all fellow writers, if you're ever struggling with writer's block, for me, what helps me keep writer's block away, or to be able to control it so that it's not for a prolonged amount of time, is always keep a journal on you where you're not just trying to write songs down, but you're just writing any random thing down. It's kind of like on the SAT, when you can't find, or when you feel like you're blanking out or something, you know how they tell you keep your pencil moving? It's the same exact thing. It's kind of like you can't expect to create a great song just by sitting down and in one sitting. It just doesn't do that, you know, because a lot of times the inspiration doesn't immediately hit you. So you want to make sure that you're always keeping your pen moving so that it's easier to get into the groove of things or to flow into things. You're not starting off cold, so to speak. So always stay writing.
Oh, absolutely. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much, Braxton, for joining me tonight on Think Different TV. I appreciate you. I'm just so happy that I was able to do this interview, and that you were available, because I know you're a very busy man, like I said before. So thank you so much for sharing your time with me tonight.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. So we're going to jump into our sponsors, but I thank you again for joining me tonight, Braxton. Go and follow him right now, Tuxedo Braxton. Y'all can just, up at the top, where Think Different TV is, drop that joint down. He's on right now. You just go and you just follow him. That's how you're supposed to do it. Or you can just, you know, search him. And also, he's going to be tagged in a lot of my posts. So he's probably getting on.
Yeah, I'm going to be doing a show.
Like that, she keep posting me.
No, I'm going to be doing a show in Trenton. I live in Florida now, but I'm going to be doing a show in Trenton later on this year, closer to the fall. So I think it's in Trenton. Soulful T knows. Follow Soulful T as well. But she knows. Yeah, I'll be there.
Yeah. Right? I'll be there in the front row like, yeah. Okay, I won't be all like that. I try to keep my reactionist in North Philly. I try to leave it at home. But thank you so much, Braxton. I appreciate you.
You have a good one, okay?
You too. So, guys, how amazing was he? Oh, my gosh. I love, you know, speaking with other artists, picking their brains on their, you know, their creative processes and where they're coming from, their music, and the meaning behind certain things. It kind of makes me feel like I'm closer to the artist, and that and that I'm able to like know them, you know, because you can know people through their music and everything like that, but when you know the backstory, it's like it makes you feel like you're closer to, you know, the artist. And that's what I want to do here on Think Different TV. When I do my independent artist spot, I'm getting all tea, okay? All right? So just know that if I bring you on this show, and you're an artist, we'll be asking you some questions. I'm not going to ask you no personal stuff. It's all going to be all about the music, but I also want to know the meaning behind the music. And yes, So I want to thank everybody that joined on. Like we was engaged in our conversation, so I wasn't able to like shout out everybody. But you know, Ron Sincere, thank you for joining on Think Different TV. Tona Artist under This Is Art LLC, thank you for joining in. Bari, thank you. Jonathan Brown, thank you for joining in. I am DA Smalls. Let me see who else we got on here. Chad Chill, Dizzy. Is it Dizzy Leak? The World Is Yours radio show. Thank you so much for joining in. Doug Dimmadome, thank you for joining in. Mr. Belushi, Aaron, Faye Dago, treating you sweet. Mr. Smith, thank you for joining in. She-Bar, thank you for joining in. Molly, thank you for joining. Oh my gosh, I'm trying to scroll to see who else. I don't want to miss anybody. Goddess or Ordiani, Chad Anthony, thank you. I'm Soulful T, thank you so much for joining on. I will be following you soon because I want to know the deets on that performance in Trenton. Roxanne Price, thank you for joining in. Erica Highsmith, thank you so much. Trini Hotep, thank you. I thank y'all so much for joining in. Sub Raps, thank you. Asasi Ayami, I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Thank you. Souls FTW 22, thank you. And I think I got everybody. So I wanted to just make sure that I shout out everybody for joining on tonight. Cynical Insomniac, thank you for joining on Think Different TV. All right. So real quick before I jump into the social topic for tonight, I want to shout out our sponsors. Our sponsors are Anointed Ads. Anointed Ads is an award-winning graphic design and website company, 14 years in the making, over 100 websites created. You just know an anointed ad when you see it because it has eye-catching designs. It's hard to miss, all right? And when you're ready to get your anointed ad created for you or your website created by Anointed Ads, you can check out IG. There's ANOINTEDADS, Anointed Ads. You check out his website, www.anointedads.com. Like him on Facebook at Anointed Ads. His name is Phil. He's very professional, very sweet. He loves to work on these projects for us. And if you mention Think Different, he's like 15% off for you. So make sure you place that order today. Make sure you get that project started today. You need a website, you need a flyer for your event or for your business. Hit him up. He did the flyer for Think Different TV. He's also done flyers for me in the past for my financial business. Make sure you hit him up, 609-534-0237. Get that project started today, all right? Hit him up. Say, yo, Phil, you know, LaShia from Think Different TV, she sent me over, and he's going to take care of you, all right? And then we have Euphoria Water, the cleanest, healthiest water in Philly. I'll drink to that. The cleanest, healthiest water in Philly, alkaline water with minerals, no additives, no chemicals. If you're going to hydrate the right way. All right, get your Euphoria Water today. In order to place that order, make sure you go and hit up Euphoria Water right here on IG. That's UPHORIAWATER. All right here on Instagram. Or you can call Captain directly if you live in the Philadelphia area and you want it delivered to your home. He makes deliveries. Call him at 267-707-8279 to place that order today. Get your Euphoria Water today. So those are our sponsors. We're going to jump into the social topic, y'all. We're going to jump into the social topic because I'm interested to know what y'all think about it. And my little smart mic died, so I'm just rocking out with my mic on my phone. Not that anything was wrong with it. I just wanted to try something different. I just wanted to, get some new equipment just in case, like I want to do some like outside things or something like that. I wanted to make sure that people could still hear me, so that's why I got the smart mic. Smart mic is cool. I like the sound that it produces and everything like that. but right now I'm rocking out with the internal mic in my phone. So I hope you guys can hear me. I hope y'all guys are still tuned in and that y'all ready for this topic. Okay, this topic is women have more access to sex than men do. Agree or disagree? Let's talk about it. All right, so this came up because all right, somebody hit me up and was like, yo, let's hang out, this and third. And I wasn't in the mood. I was like, no, like I don't wanna, you know. And that person didn't get mad, but it was just like, it's crazy how, you know, whenever women reach out to men to be like, yo, I want to do something, or I want to hang out, I want to, Netflix and chill, men are ready and willing and able to come over. And one person, Commotion, he commented on my post and he said, women have more access. That's true, but they don't have, like our pickings are slim. All right. So we have more access to it, but the men that we have to choose from are, the pickings are slim. So what do y'all think? Like, do women have more access to sex than men do? And I saw a lot of men commenting and saying, absolutely, yes, they do. Like, men have less access, and it's because when they hit up a woman and a woman says, I don't want to, or whatever like that, they just gotta respect their wishes. It's like, oh, okay, And but why is that? Why is that? Now, history dictates, or just in certain social situations, women, they always say women are more emotional and men are more physical. So women do things based off of how they feel, and men do things based off of how it would make them feel. Does it make sense? I hope it makes sense. So when a woman, we get to weigh our options, we be like, okay, sometimes it's not just a physical thing. So let's say we do want to have sex. Like women, we want to have sex. We want to have sex. But we also are like this dude talks too much, or I don't like how he grunts, or I don't like how, like, we pick the person we want to be around that time of night. And I'm gonna just talk for myself. So I'm gonna speak for myself. I'm single, all right? So if I want to call up someone to do whatever I want to do, that that is what it is. When a guy turns me down or says he doesn't have time or whatever like that, which is not often, but when it happens, I call up somebody else, But also I'm weighing like, okay, I know when this person comes over, they're gonna talk. If I just want to get right to it, I don't want to handle talking. I had somebody over it, somebody that I had action with, and I want to have a conversation with, and I would hit them up, and eventually something's going to happen. But sometimes you just have a connection with somebody, and you just want to have general conversation with them. And if something happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And I find that in my experience that when a guy hits me up and I know like I'm not in the mood and stuff like that, I would be like, no, not today, or and then they'll probably call up somebody else, and they might get in touch with that person. That person might be like, yeah, or they might still be like, no, and then they got to go to the next person on the list. I don't know. I think it's like, it depends on the person. It depends on the person. Because there's good looking guys who got stuff going for them that if he calls up somebody, they are waiting and willing and in the winds to do whatever, you know. Hey Elijah, thank you for joining Think Different TV. So what do y'all think? Like, do women have more access to sex than men do? And if so, why? Okay, thank you. Being a Island just joined. Thank you for joining in Think Different T. This is RLLC says women definitely have more access on a whole, but it really depends on the individual. And hey, what's up, bro? It does depend on the individual, and because one female said, you know, listen, the way where my sex life is dry right now, I would say that men have more access to sex. But you know, sometimes it could just be an individual thing. Like, if you're an attractive person and you surround yourself with other attractive people, and you know, and that's what y'all like to do, or whatever, like that, it shouldn't be hard to find somebody to attend to your needs. But it's not hard to be a man who has bountiful access. Yeah, it's not. It's not. It's not. And I think I get what Commotion was saying, because men, I won't say men, well, in some cases, from what I hear, this is not my personal whatever, but I will say that men, they have the tendency to, people like they fuck whatever, right? But I don't know. I think a lot of guys that I talk to, they're very selective. They don't just be messing with just anything, you know, because then if they mess with anything, then I'll be like, I'm not just anybody, you know, like, but you like just messing with randoms. Like, what does that say about me? Like, you know what I'm saying? So with men, we do look at who else you messing with, and we're not all that upset if it's like somebody that's like pretty much on the same level as us. Like, you know, if she a well-dressed chick, got her head on right, this, that, third, like, we be like, oh, okay, all right, I can see why he's attracted to her. I can see why. But if it's like some dusty chick, we can be like, whoa, hold up now. But it's very rare that you will come across a dusty chick, because a lot of time when women be getting all dialed up and getting it, I want y'all to stop the cat, because it do be for men, because I'm not gonna say I look like this on a regular, okay? I do this for the show, but a lot of times when you see me, you won't see me without makeup. You won't see me because I work. I'll be wearing some work clothes. I don't be all dressed up and everything like that. I know, like, when I'm going out and stuff like that, and I want to attract a male, I will dress nicer when I want to attract a male, right? But a lot of times I'm not focused on attracting a male. I'm focused on getting that bag. So I'll be like, let me go and just throw this on, you know, pull my hair back, you know, make sure I wash my face, get the crust out my eyes, you know, and then just go on about my business. But I don't be all dialing up, like, unless I'm going to attract a male. Because, like, some people say, oh, I do it for myself, this and third. No, I don't put that much. Like, yeah, I feel pretty and I'm like, ooh, I look cute, but you know what make me happy? Food. If I want to impress me, I'll get me some tacos. Okay, I wouldn't be like, oh, let me do my makeup up, or let me. Mm-mm, mm-mm. I don't do that for myself. I would do that to attract somebody or to look cute for somebody, but I wouldn't do that on a regular for just myself. Like, that's crazy. Everyone pops a random every once in a while. They don't have to be dusty, just random. Oh, shit. And I feel like, okay, so this is why I think Commotion had a point, because when you look at the men that we have to choose from, like, it's not a big it's not a big selection. Okay, so all right, I want a guy who has a job. Okay, so that would be like 75% of the population. All right. Then I want a guy who doesn't have any children. But that drops it down to like 30%. And then it's like like the percentages just keep going down, down, down with every, every criteria we have, it keeps going down, 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 down. I feel like sometimes women they settle because we want sex just as much as men do, but sometimes it's not. Like, you might have a dude that got like a big thing, big penis, stroke game good, right? But he ain't got no job. He got time to hang out with you and everything like that, but he ain't got no job. Then you got the guy that got the job and everything like that, but he ain't got no time. And then because pickings are very slim, chances are that dude might be married. And that's a whole nother situation, huh, child? And then you got the men who don't like women. And then you got you got the men who, are musty. And, it's very rare. First of all, the things that attract me, I love a good smelling meat. Okay. I love a man that smells good. Okay. And that's like the biggest turn on for me. So as soon as you come up and you smelling musty or your breath stink or something like that, I'm automatically turned off. It got to be corrected. It's too many. 51% of black men are single without children. Okay, I'll take your percentage. All right. Okay, you just checked it on Google, because everything on Google is true. Everything on Google is true. So you just Googled it and you just checked it online, because it's all fake. Jules Productions, thank you for joining Think Different TV. So, is there anybody that want to come on and speak on this? Because I know what the answer is. I know we have more access to sex than men do. I know we do. But it's because men are more physical. They like physical touch. They like the huckabuck. So it's like it's not hard to find a guy that like just randomly go to a guy and be like, oh, you wanna F? And then you're like, sure, like sure, why not? But you can't. A man just can't walk up to a woman and be like, yo, you want to F? She was like, get the F out of my face. Like, what you talking about? Like, this is cornball. Who are you? Like, just coming up to people. Like, and, yeah, it's all about the approach. But, you know, if a woman using the same line, the woman go to the dude be like, yo, I'm trying to, you know, dude be like, let's go. But if dude come on, the woman be like, I'm trying to, she be like, ew. Now, if you meet her criteria on looks, appearance, whatever, if she's attracted to you physically at the initial meeting, it's a possibility. It's a possibility. Just don't talk yourself out of it. Just don't talk yourself out of it, because men have a good way of talking themselves out of saying something dumb that just turn a woman all the way off. Like, you know, I can't tell you the amount of times that I've been turned off. Because we know we want to do it, and it is like everything you say is going against you in the court of sexual law. Like, don't say nothing dumb. Because then I'm gonna be like, you know what? I changed my mind. You know, like, I thought I wanted it, but you just said something real dumb that made me like not want to do anything with you. Now, what can a woman do to turn a man off? What can a woman do to turn a man off? Like, if a man already has his mind made up, like, I'm going to smash, like, what is it that would turn a man off from, like, smashing? Like, nah, not, like, I mean, I'm sure if she said, hey, you know, I have, well, nobody discloses their, you know, their medical history at the first meeting, but, you know, like, I'm sure that could be a turn off. Talk too much? I mean, do you want to join in this conversation? Because I feel like the men got something to say, and I don't want I don't want this opportunity to pass you by to jump on and say what you gotta say. You don't gotta show your face or anything. If you want to show the ceiling or whatever, run her mouth too much, okay, that I'm seeing that's a turn off for a lot of guys, huh? So y'all just gonna hate the heck out of me. Like, I know I kind of consent when I'm talking too much, but because this is my show and I have to talk, but if I knows me know that I'm not that loquacious, is that the word? Loquacious, you know, about stuff that I really don't. No, you need to jump on. You talk about something. I'm not touching this one. Why not? Why not? Oh, y'all some scaredy cats. See, I be trying to get people to jump on real quick and share their thoughts. I'm sure if Carson, California was on here, he'd be up here to talk about it. Matter of fact, no, I'm not gonna invite him. He know when my show on. He knows when to be on here. But listen, women have more access to sex than men do. I'm guessing that everybody, smells bad breath. Okay. Now I think you're just bragging, Tone. I think you're just bragging. You're just bragging. I don't have any issues with access. Okay. You're just bragging. You're such a braggart. Hey, yeah, you know what? I have the sense that you don't. Well, I'm gonna shut up. I'm gonna shut up. But I know that the pickings are slim, but you're attracted to who you're attracted to, and it does depend on the individual, because it might be some females that don't have as much access because of something that they do, something like maybe they talk too much, whatever. Maybe they talk too much. Maybe they smell. Maybe they aren't the best looking, and men aren't. But like I said, there's a lid for every pot, so I can't even go off of looks or anything like that. Because I know on my 600-pound life, them people always have a significant other, and I'll be like, Dad, I can't even get a call back half the time. But this person got a whole significant other, and they're laying in the bed, and the person buy them food and everything. I want somebody to buy me food and feed me. Like, she likes a dozen of eggs cooked in the morning, so I'm just cooking her a dozen eggs. Like, what? So, like I said, it's a lid for every pot. So, it's somebody for somebody. And I think in this situation, in this this world right now, in my world anyway, I know I have no problem with access, but I am careful about who I share my time with, because like, it's not just doing the huckabuck for me. It's like, who can I have a conversation with, like, afterwards? Now, because I'm not the type to be like, oh, I'm gonna just do it, then like, okay, bye. Like, I don't think I'm at that point yet. I think I gotta get to my 40s before I'm like on that type time. Mary Kay. I gotta be a little bit older before I'm on that type time where I'm like, oh well, yeah, you gotta get up out of here, or I don't know. I'm not at that point yet. But when I get to the point, woo, baby, I'll be kicking people out. Get out. I gotta get up for work in the morning. No sleepovers, no nothing. Like, I don't know, man. It's a crazy life I live. I don't know. But no, I don't have a problem with access, but I just, the pickings are not, I mean, they're great. Like, I don't associate with people that I don't, like, or don't have things going for them. But am I messing with like extremely rich, wealthy men? No, like, they got responsibilities. They got things they gotta take care of. Do they have kids? Yeah. like I have a child too. Like, that's why I can't be too like picky and stuff like that. One lady, she said she had 2 kids. I was watching Kendra G Media, and the lady was like, oh well, I want a guy, like, I really don't do kids like that, but she has 2 kids, but she was like, I can deal with at least 1 kid. And I was like, what? Big Dad Black, thank you for joining in and Think Different TV. So I guess nobody wants to hop on and talk about the topic, so I'm going to just, talk about something else, because I already said what my answer would be. Women do have more access to sex than men do, but our pickings are very slim. And when men have access to sex, it's like, let's just say we are, no, like, first of all, women's population to men is way more women than men. So when you break it down like that, like, chances are you probably gonna be messing with a man that already messing with somebody else anyway, or in a relationship, or if they're single and they don't have any children, like, a lot of them not even trying to be in a relationship or even thinking about doing anything like that, because sometimes when they're single and they don't have any children, they probably got their mind is on the bag, securing the bag. and they're probably not even looking for a woman to be, they're probably not even looking for a woman to be, with them right at that point, because they're still out there chasing the bag. So that's another thing. And like I said, some men don't even like women. So then we gotta think about that. And it's just a lot, y'all. It's a lot. It's a lot. I'm talking about the pickings are slim as far as like the ratio of women to men. Men's population is smaller than women. And then on top of that, when you break everything down, you take out the men that don't like women, and then you take out like the men that meet our qualifications, pickings are slim. And then to find a man that fit all of our qualifications and they not in a relationship already with another woman, that's hard, baby. That's hard. That's hard. That's not true. What man wants to be alone? No, I'm not saying that they want to be alone. It's just not a priority for them at this moment in time. He wants, but I'm talking about for women, honey. If he gay, he don't want women. Okay, are we talking about, okay, so maybe I have to put it like this, with the opposite sex. Or should I just talk about in general? That, women have more access to men, more access to sex than men do. So I'm going to include everybody in the situation. So yeah, but women have more access because when it comes to being with females and stuff like that, if a woman with another woman, well, there's a lot more of us than men. So yeah, we have more access to sex, with each other too, so yeah. I mean, you feel free to jump on if you want to explain but I was saying, like, a man, he don't want to be alone, like, but if he's chasing the bag and it's not a priority to be with anybody, then yeah, like, he might have sex or whatever, but it's not a priority for him at the moment. There's men out there like that, and there's a lot of women that's out there like that too. Like, I'm trying to stack up my cash, trying to get this bag, and sex is not a priority for me right now. So, and even though we have access to it, we may not want to, even though we have access, it may not be a priority of ours to go out and have sex, and there's a lot of women out here that's just doing it, just trying to, like, there's a lot of men out here doing it too, but when you think about it, there's a lot of women that are out here working, getting the bag, starting businesses, raising kids, doing all these things. So it might be limited access for a man trying to be with a woman, because the woman is like, their mind, like, sometimes when my mind is on making money, I don't be thinking about having sex. I'll be like, let me get this money, because like I said, a lot of it is tied into emotions, how we feel. Having sex is based on how we feel at the moment, whereas men just think about how it would make them feel. So there you go. I couldn't let this night go on without, that was the social topic for the night. So women have more access to sex than men do. Agree or disagree? Feel free to leave your comments below. The replay will be available on my IGTV under Think Different TV, or you can go on YouTube, subscribe to my channel, Think Different TV, and you can watch the replay on there too. But it's a few things that happen in the media, and I try to stick to what I'm doing on my show, because my show, it has no, like I do my own thing, and I try not to do what everybody else is talking about. Like everybody else is talking about, Chappelle being attacked at his show. Everybody's talking about the death of Kevin Samuels. Excuse me. See, because I'm doing something out of the norm. I done sneeze. See, is this appropriate for me to do right now? And it absolutely is. What the? See, y'all, everything want to go wrong because I want to do something different. But like I said, this is. There's a few things that I want to talk about. Two things. Number one, Chappelle being attacked at his show. It's just getting crazy now. I'm telling you, I don't understand where these people, did Will Smith set off a chain reaction when he walked up on stage? And oh, thank you, Barry. Did Will Smith set off a chain reaction when he went and walked up on stage and smacked Chris Rock, and now randoms just think that they can just go up and attack comedians for what they say and what they, choose to do in their routines? I don't know if it's necessarily like him starting the train moving, but because people saw the aftermath, because it was not treated in a way where it was a like there was no, what's the word for it? Well, anyway, because they didn't see it as a security issue or, oh, because this is Will Smith and this is, Chris Rock, and they're two celebrities, and Will Smith is Will Smith. So because Will Smith didn't really face any repercussions for what he did other than being ostracized in society, it's like people are like, oh, well, I could do this and I could not get any repercussions. But when Chappelle was attacked by the dude just came up and he just like tried to spear Dave Chappelle, and it took a while before Dave Chappelle actually like fell, because the dude didn't have like a lot of force behind his spear. It wasn't like a spear from like Roman Reigns or anything like that. It was kind of like, I'm just gonna, and then it's Dave Chappelle, and he probably was like, what, he's probably thrown off, and I don't know, he kind of like sidestepped him a little bit, and then he kind of like fell, because I guess he must like, but then the security guards took him in the back and showed him like, you can't be running up on stage doing stuff like that. You just a regular guy. You're not Will Smith. But then it's like, should Will Smith have faced repercussions? And if so, well, a lot of his movies and projects are being stopped. Okay, so he's getting hit in the pockets. So celebrities, when I guess when they do stuff like that, they're getting hit in the pockets, whereas regular folk, they getting hit. Just hit. They're not getting hit in the pockets, they getting hit in the face, in the body. Like they took care of him, they broke his arm. I saw like his arm was like this, like it was all like distorted. I was like, oh my gosh, like that is crazy. But this is the time we live in. Like I don't understand it. I remember when people actually had senses of humor. senses of humor. They had a sense of humor. And people were laughing and they weren't taking these jokes too personally. And now it's like everybody is so freaking sensitive. You can't joke about nothing. You can't say nothing about nothing because automatically somebody gonna jump down your throat. Oh my gosh, I can't believe you said that. That goes against my beliefs, or that goes against this, that goes against that. And oh my gosh, like it's just so annoying. Like comedians are there to make us laugh. If you do not come to laugh, do not go to a comedy show. Simple as that. If you do not come to have a good time, don't go to a comedy show. It's just like that friend that everybody got that one friend. We all make plans to go out. We all going out. Oh yeah, we're gonna go out. We're gonna go out to a club tonight. This and the third. And this person agrees to go. But then when they get to the club, they want to complain about every freaking thing. Oh, these drinks is nasty. Oh, I can't believe they playing this music. Oh my gosh, this is exactly why I don't be going to no clubs. Don't go. Don't go. If you don't go to a good time and enjoy yourself, don't go. Now, it's the same thing with a comedy show. It's the same. These comedians make a living making people laugh. They make a living doing what they do. How would you feel if your living was freaking, you was a mechanic and you had to think about getting attacked because maybe you didn't fix the car the right way or whatever like that, and this person just comes up and just attacks a mechanic because his car wasn't fixed the right way. But the mechanic said, listen, I'm gonna make it right. I'm gonna do that, this and the third, and you still get attacked. He doesn't face any repercussions because people are like, oh well, he was kind of justified because his car wasn't, the way he wanted it to be. And then another mechanic gets attacked, and then another mechanic gets attacked because but that's not what you're supposed to do. You're not supposed to meet violence against words. Words are words. What is it? Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Words are words. But when you meet it with force, you need to be punished. You need to either go to jail, you need to pay a fine, you need to do something that you need to get punished with something that will make you realize that what you did was wrong. And it also is to send out a message to other people who are thinking about doing that same thing, that no, I shouldn't do it because this was what could happen to me. So that was crazy. Barry said he wanted to join in.
Hola, mira.
Hola, what's up?
What's up? You not gonna see me. I'm laying in the daggone bed.
I know it. I see.
So I got quite a few comments.
Okay.
The sticks and stones may break my bones. So words done cause wars. Words done got people beat up. So I think that comment doesn't go for the comedians. What happened? That whole Will Smith thing was out of pocket. Now I don't see Will Smith. I think if The Rock or somebody like that would have made that joke, I don't think Will Smith would have went on stage and slapped Dwayne Johnson. I just don't think so. And I'm saying, I think Will Smith was a little bit tired of people coming at his coming at his wife and the relationship, the whole August Alsina thing, and I think that was the reason why he snapped. You know, a lot of his projects now has been taken away, except for Bad Boys. That the only thing that's getting ready. I think he's getting ready to do a Bad Boys, but I know for a fact that he's taking some time off, which he needs to. His wife is still doing the table talk, and I'm not a big fan of hers. And what do you think about her?
Well, so just to back up a little bit, Will Smith, so it was out of pocket what he did, as what Will Smith, how he reacted to Chris
Absolutely.
Rock's. Okay, so I just wanted to make sure that I was clear on that. And true, words have started wars, and words. But what I'm saying, as far as, you know, comedians, they're on stage to make people laugh.
Absolutely.
They're on stage
Absolutely.
to, like, their income is based off of them making people laugh.
I'm with you on that one.
So Will Smith, knowing that Chris Rock is doing a job at the time. Chris Rock is at work. He's not just on the streets making a random comment. Rock,
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Was on stage doing a job. So, and Will Smith has been to enough award ceremonies to know that a lot of times them hosts and stuff, they don't write their own material when it comes to these award shows, because everything has to be cleared for the award show prior to them going on stage.
Well, now that we're getting the tail end of it, he a lot of those things that he said, he was just going off the top of the dome. Chris is just that good. Both of them are.
But the thing about it is that just like how Chris Rock went off the dome, Will Smith could have, because I'm saying we shouldn't meet words with violence.
No, absolutely.
He should have. He's so smart. Will Smith this is what made me mad about it. And I know this has happened weeks ago, but because it's leading up to this recent attack on Dave Chappelle, you know, Will Smith is so intelligent. He's so intelligent, and I understand how emotions can get the best of someone. But in that moment, I felt like Jada could have did more to keep him in his seat.
Absolutely.
And say, listen, it's not worth it. We'll talk to him afterwards. Like, absolutely. Because at that point, nobody in the room was thinking like, oh, he's taking jabs at Will and Jada.
No, it was just
some people might, but like everybody was like, Chris Rock is just up there being Chris Rock.
Yeah, to me it was a dry joke.
It was a dry joke.
It wasn't really worth the emotion that he went through for that. That's just to me. And then you got a lot of black women talking about oh yeah, you know, he's standing up for his woman. He's standing up for his, you know. So going up on stage and slapping another man in his face on national TV, to me was a bitch move. Just to me, knowing that he can't do anything back to you on a national standpoint like that, I just wouldn't have did it. I'm sorry, I wouldn't have did it. It was a really cowardly move, and the apology to me was it wasn't sincere, because if you were going to apologize to him, you would have called him on the phone, had a meeting with him, because you did it publicly. You should have made that publicly. You should have did it publicly with him standing in front of you. So I just thought that it didn't. And when they keep talking about some Philly stand up, my whole thing with this is Philly grabs onto the wrong thing to me.
Absolutely.
I don't like when Philly does that. It didn't It didn't show nothing about that. It just showed what Philly can be cowards. I'm sorry to say that, but that's to me what it showed. It didn't show strength. That didn't show strength to me. There's no strength in that. You know, black men, if he could have easily walked up to him and said something in his ear real quick and told him, you know, after the show, you know, you guys see me about something. You know, he could have went down like that. Slapping a man in his face in national TV. Phooey. I wasn't. It didn't smell right to me. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I
I
wasn't a
said,
fan of
you know, on another post on my page, I said that, you know, when it first happened, the day after when I did Think Different TV, I had posted a post where I said it's one of those things. It was like, damned if you do, damned if you don't. It was a catch-22 for him. If he didn't do anything, you know, people would have been coming at him about that. Oh, Will Smith, you know, he didn't stand up for his wife. When he do it, it's like, oh my gosh, how could it be so, you know, be so reactive and go off the hinges and do something so crazy in a response to something that seems so minor. So it didn't matter what route he took as far as the public eye was concerned, because people gonna have an opinion regardless if he did something or not did anything. But my thing about it is that Chris Rock, he was doing a job, and Will Smith, he took it too far by going up and slapping him. And because of him not facing repercussions like jail time, or anything like that, now people are getting this Superman effect where they think that they could go and they could do it too, which leads us to the Dave Chappelle situation, with Dave Chappelle being attacked on stage, and that person realizing that in that moment he messed up because
he's gonna do jail time.
Yeah, he's gonna do jail time with a broken arm.
He's gonna do some good jail time for that. Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. He's gonna do some jail time for that. He's gonna sit for that, and he might even get sued.
Absolutely.
So I think for people like that, you make an example out of him, because that's not the first time that happened. That happened another time. A local show. Somebody had ran up on stage, and the guy gave him some work. The comedian gave him some work. So this is like the second time that happened. So a lot of now these comedians are starting to ante up their security. They might have to go to places where they have taller stages. Just think, the Laugh House isn't so bad. If you ever been to the Laugh House, it's not that. Yeah. It's the stage is right there. So just think, now everybody that's cutting, you know, jokes on the audience. That's what they do. That's how some of these, as you said, some of these comedians make their money by, you know, coming at the audience. Now, if you go back in the days when you had the Robin Williams and the Red Foxes, they used to tear the audience up.
Or George Carlin, or
yeah.
Who else? There's this one guy. He's still alive. He's like really brash. He has a real thick Italian accent. He got a leather jacket on.
Oh gosh, why can't I think of his name? I even think I know. Not Andrew Dice Clay. I know you ain't talking about Andrew Dice Clay. There's another cat. Yeah, so they used to when I say murder she wrote, they would literally go through the aisles and like kill the dead. And you better not dare go to a Corey Holcomb. He's another cat.
See, and like I said, people are a lot sensitive nowadays. And I'm like, if you go to a comedy show, you're going to a comedy show with the purpose of laughing. That's what it is a comedy show. Like you got two options you can do at a comedy show. You can laugh or not laugh. Like, and chances are you're not laughing because the comedian is not that daggone funny. But like that's why you go to a comedy show, is for the purpose of laughter and having a good time. And what I'm finding is, like, if now people are going to shows just so they can go and attack comedians for what they say, like, you, first of all, you stupid because you bought a ticket, so you already pretty much supported the comedian anyway, because that money is right in your pocket. And then, you know, so they already got your money. So like Dave Chappelle, like, got you, bitch. like he already got your money. And then he about to get more of your money because you done ran on stage and attacking. Plus he got some laughs at your expense.
Wait a minute. See, you gotta do it again. You gotta do it again. What'd he say? What he say?
He like, got you, bitch. But yeah, that's I watch a lot of Dave Chappelle. I'm a big fan of his. So this news came to me as somewhat of a shock because and plus I know that Dave Chappelle got security, just like Kevin Hart. Like Dave Chappelle got mad security. Like he be free as a bird, but you know, ever since he came back, like he's had security. So what made this dude think, oh, I'ma just run up there and nothing's gonna happen to me? Like, either you wanna get beat by Dave Chappelle, you know, or you gonna get beat by his security. Which one you wanna choose? And they said somebody else joined it. Somebody else was beating on him too. Somebody said that. Oh my gosh. Who's the guy that just Elon Musk was there and was beating up on the top? Like, y'all just playing, y'all just throwing stuff out there because you know Elon Musk there beating up the dude too. Like, I mean, maybe, I don't know, but yeah, you can't be doing that. Like, and then Chris Rock, shortly after that happened, Chris Rock came up on stage. He was like, "Who was that? Will Smith?"
Yeah, he's starting to take jabs at him now. You know, and I didn't know that Chris Rock had all them brothers, man. He's got a lot of brothers. He's got like 10 brothers.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of brothers. And then you got that crazy behind Jalen Smith after he slapped him, he talking about something, that's how we do it. And knowing his little punk behind can't fight if one of them brothers walked up on him. See, that's why I said, man, it was a really...
The brothers didn't walk up on Will Smith's son because, you know, all his brothers are like in their 50s, so they're not about to go beat up on no little 20-year-old. They're not about to do that.
Well, listen, keep his mouth.
He might have to worry about the nephews.
Don't run
he might have to worry about the nephews, but not the brothers.
Don't run your mouth then. Don't run your mouth.
But there's also something that happened in the news recently that I wanted to jump on too, because the death of Kevin Samuels and the mixed reactions of people as it relates to his death. Now, I'm gonna preface this by saying I too did not agree with everything that Kevin Samuels said, but what he was someone who had a platform, and he did put in the work to build this platform to say whatever the hell he wanted to say. Okay, just like I have Think Different TV. You know, I'm going to say some things on here that people may not agree with, but they're my thoughts, my opinions, and to be ostracized or made feel bad about what I say, that's crazy, because we all have freedom of speech and we have, you know, free will, and we can say whatever we want to say, right?
Right.
Now, from the episodes that I see of Kevin Samuels, if he's having a one-on-one conversation with one woman and telling her about herself, I fail to see how that can trigger other women when he's talking to one individual.
Well,
Now he might say, I don't understand how women can think that they can do this, because there are women that have standards that do not fall in line with what they're bringing to the table. So how could you expect a man to bring certain things to the table when you are not also bringing that to the table? I understand that. I get that. My thing about it was that to feel that someone should die because of their opinion, I think that's a little extreme, a lot extreme. I think that people are too in their feelings right now, and it's the death of a human being. Now, people are saying, like, if he didn't want people to talk badly about him, or in essence, spit on his grave when he dies, he should have had more of a legacy that, was more towards, being kinder to black women, or, but I'm like this. He was expressing his thoughts, and people were taking it like everything he said is very subjective. All the information that he's given to us is very subjective. So we take it how we take it. You get what I'm saying? Now, if people are triggered by it, maybe it's something that you're not doing in your life that you feel like it relates to you. But remember the old expression, if it don't apply, let it fly. Well, if I know I'm doing right in my life, and I have, all these good things going for me, and he says something about women, I know that I don't fall in that category, so it doesn't bother me what he says. But if you are triggered, it's probably because you feel some type of way about yourself, and you feel like he's right, But just going on his page and seeing the different interactions that he had with people, and then a lot of times he was asking questions of people like, why is this? He didn't express his opinion till after he got a response, so how do you feel about that, as far as like people talking badly about him, like speaking ill of the dead, saying, oh, he should have died, and he was, all this things to black women, this, that, and third, and because he was just spitting words. But I know men that beat black women. I know men that actually like put hands on black women, killed black women, and people up there like, free JoJo.
Yeah. So first of all, rest in peace, Kevin Samuels. Whether you liked him or not, he was a person who still considered himself to stand up for black people. That's number one. Number two, I do agree with you that I did not agree with everything which he said. One of the things that me and Molly was talking about yesterday was that a lot of women would get on his show, and okay, I'll use this scenario. That's almost like if there's food down the street and you got the devil sitting right here and he's got a pie in front of your face and you're really hungry, but the food is down the street, you can get there, but the pie is right here in the devil's den. So instead of me walking down the street to get the food, I'm going to go to somewhere that's easy so I can get the bad message. And a lot of these women went on there with the intent of, oh yeah, well, I'm going to show him, and it turned completely south for them. So what happened in a lot of those scenarios with those women is they got on the show and expected something, and they got something totally different. You can't get mad if you go on the show and he talks about you. If you don't want to get talked about, don't go on a show. If you know that if you say, oh, this guy is rude and he do this to every other woman, I know he's not going to do it to me. Yes, he's going to do it to you too. So my thing with that is, don't go on someone's show or don't support him, don't watch him if you feel that badly about him. That's what I say about everything. If you know his kids out here acting crazy or fights and you think it's so bad, why are you reposting it and you're going to give that repost so many views? If I see something and I don't like it, I don't watch it. But see, that's the problem with us black folks. We want to dig our eyes up into something and see if it's going to make us feel any better, and so just so we can talk about it. So he had a platform, and he might not have said everything that was so great. Some of the things he said was very true. There are a lot of good black men out there. I've seen a lot of good dads out here that was single, and this is from my own eyes. I've seen a lot of good fatherly dudes just step up to the plate. I've seen a lot of bad women that shouldn't have kids. I've seen a lot of bad men that shouldn't have kids. It's all vice versa. And so what his platform did was just to try to tell us, hey, listen, we need to be more aware about ourselves. And again, I wasn't a fan of him. I've watched a couple things where he said some really bad stuff about some women. And I'm never for women bashing. I've always said that women do not get enough respect for what y'all do. First of all, you have babies. Men can't have babies. We can make them, but we can't have them. We don't know what it takes to sit in to be in labor for 48, sometimes a whole day, and the baby don't pop out. I get upset when I get constipated. I can't deal with that too much.
That's definitely 9 months of complication.
Absolutely. I just had a colonoscopy, man, and once you get past 40, you got to get these things done. And that's another thing that need to be talked about is men going to the getting themselves a checkup. Maybe that's a show that you need to do about men and women taking care of themselves, man, a little bit better. But that's on a different note. Back to Kevin Samuels. Like I said, rest in peace to the guy, man. And now as for everybody talking about he should have died and all this other stuff, shame on you. If you're watching this and you one of those people, shame on you. That's how I feel about that. You're not, a lot of times we ain't no better than somebody else. We don't like what he say, but it's a lot of stuff that we post, that we say to our friends, that we say, when people not around, we say that stuff. He just say it out loud. So I guess that's why people don't really bang with him like that.
See, I think the people that live in their truth are the ones that were not offended by what he said. People who, realize things for what it is and can look at themselves and realize what they do and how they need to improve, did not take offense to what he said. It's the people that were the people that were triggered were the ones who either knew there was something wrong with them and they did not want to do anything about it to change it, or they truly did not know and their eyes were being opened to it, and now they feel embarrassed because they're like, how did I not know this about myself, but somebody that doesn't know me is telling me about myself. So but that all has something to do with you. That's a you problem. That's not a Kevin Samuels problem. And my thing was, like, you're absolutely right. These women were requesting to be on his show. He didn't just pull just random chicks and say, hey, you want to be on my show? And this and the third. He didn't go out there begging for guests. People wanted to be on his show, like you said, to like show him up or prove that he was wrong and this and the third. But if you're so secure in what you believe in and you realize that that's what that man believes, and he was over 50. So once a man is over 40, actually, they stuck in their ways anyway. It's hard to really like adjust what they got going on in their mind, because when you've been living with your beliefs for so long, by the time you get to that point, it's like what you believe is what you believe. So it'll be very hard to sway you from that. So you know, for someone to say, oh, well, I'm gonna get on here and I'm gonna change his mind, and so that man was over 50 years old and he had nothing to lose.
Yeah, yeah,
So he was like, and he was like, at this point in time, like people. The crazy thing about it is that if, in order for people to not thrive, you have to ignore them. If he was ignored, if his platform was ignored, if people weren't sharing his stuff, if people wasn't tuning in, he wouldn't have the power. The power was truly based on how many people put energy into him.
absolutely.
So
What they
whether
did,
it be negative or positive energy, you're giving energy to him, so he's able to take that energy and still grow and have power to do what he wanted to do. You give him the views,
absolutely.
people are buying badges, all this crazy stuff, and he's able to carry on and make a living giving out this advice that y'all are so against. I mean, like you said, if I don't like something, I'm not going to share it. You know, because
Absolutely.
I feel like it's giving energy to something that I do not like. You know, where it could be, you can not waste any energy by just simply bypassing it, saying, ain't nothing I want to give my energy to, and just skip over it. You know, but like you said, people are so into being nosy and what's going on, and then, oh, he wrong. Oh no, I'm gonna say something about this. No. Like I think that's doing too much. And you're absolutely right. People that are out there saying, yeah, he should have died and all this stuff like that. That's a shame. That's shame on you, because it's still a black man. It's still someone who, you know, even though he may not have been somebody that you would want to sit down and have Thanksgiving dinner with. I don't wish death on nobody.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
wish death on nobody, because that's like forever. Like they forever going to be gone. They're not going to be able to say no more.
See, one thing
And
about
I think in a way he challenged people to think outside of the box and think
absolutely,
outside of what they think about. And you may not agree with what he said, but at least it got you thinking in a different way. And that's why I have my platform, it is called Think Different TV. Now, I'm going to listen to someone's point of view. I'm going to get an understanding of their view. I'm not going to slam anybody for their view on anything, you know, and I just want to make sure that my view is coming across and that people are understanding what my point of view is. But I would never slam somebody for what they believe in. I would never slam somebody for having an opinion. A lot of people was, you know, opinion is opinion, and fact is fact. Fact, Titanic sank in 1912. That's a freaking fact. You get what I'm saying? But somebody's thoughts and ideals and beliefs are not facts. They're just opinions based off of their life experiences. And we don't know what that man went through in his life to have him end up talking the way that he was talking. So what we needed to do was actually gain an understanding of why he was coming from where he was coming from. But people were so quick to attack his message that they wasn't trying to look into why he was saying what he was saying. And unfortunately, because he is gone, we'll never know what his life experiences was in detail to know why he had the point of view that he had. So rest in peace, Kevin Samuels. It's a lot of people out here saying things about you and have opinions about you, but I know at the end of the day, a lot of people, they don't set out to be the bad guy. Sometimes it happens because we don't have ideals that are falling in line with everybody else's ideals, so we become the bad guy because we're the outside.
I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. He said a lot of messed up stuff, and he said a lot of great stuff. Now, did the good outweigh the bad? I don't know, because I didn't watch his stuff all the time. But a lot of the stuff he said, and calling women fat bees and all that stuff, because they said that, you know, it's none of their business, and, you know, he didn't like the comments. You know, I thought that some of that was trolling, so he can get I just didn't like some of his comments towards women. You know what I'm saying? But as I said, if you go inside the lion's den and expect them not to bite, it's something wrong with you. Nothing wrong with the lion.
Mm-hmm.
So
Absolutely.
you can't expect sugar from salt. It's two different tastes, maybe. One sweet, one's bitter.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So that's the two things that I wanted to touch on tonight, in addition to my social topic for the night, which is women have more access to sex than men do. I already
Let's
expressed
talk
my
about that
opinion
just
on it.
for a little bit.
You said what?
Let's talk about that just for a little bit.
Just for a little bit? Okay, how do you feel about that? Do you feel that women have more access to sex than men do?
Women have more access. Women are more kinkier. Women are more freakier, and all of the above. Now, what I don't agree with is that there's not a lot of that the selection is few. I just challenge you to do some more research when you give your statistics out there, because there are a lot of single black men that are in, and I know a lot of them that are, early 30s, don't have kids. A lot of them do, but a lot of them don't. And they don't have kids, and they don't have, yeah, Mike, it's definitely way easier for women than it is. Well, a lot of guys got to do more work. You women, y'all, you can go outside. I'll give you a bit, for instance. You're naturally pretty. You go outside, take off every makeup you want, and just wear some booty shorts outside and flick your hair and chew some gum and wear the ugliest shorts, and it can have a stain on it, and a nigga still gonna holler at you. We see you frown your face, but some
Ew.
guy is still gonna holler at you.
Yes, live every time.
I can't walk outside looking like this, and some chick gonna holler at me. You know what I mean? Now maybe if I'm working, I got some paint on me or something, because some women do like, hard working men. But for the most part, women do have a lot of they have more access, they got more everything. You know what I'm saying? They got more of everything. Now, what were you saying?
Well, do say I need to do a little bit more work on my statistics and everything like that. I was just throwing figures out there because I really don't care. But I was saying, but I will say that there are more women in the world than men. That's one.
Of course.
So when I say the pickings are slim, first of all, our ratio is off. Our ratio is off. It's like 2/3 women and 1/3 men. Like, we already have a lower population because a lot of our men are locked up. They've been killed. They're, and I'm talking about in our community.
Okay. Okay. When you say that, those are those men. Those are the crappy men. Well, let's get to the good men now.
Okay, so the good men. All right. Now we gotta take out the men that don't want women. All right.
That you're still talking about bad men. I'm with you. I'm 100% with you on the statistics.
Then you gotta look at the men who fit our criteria, because like I said before, women have sex based off of how they feel. Men have sex based off how it would make them feel. So, because men are very physical, women are very emotional. So everything is tied in to our emotions. So, like, how we go about things is tied into our emotions. And I know there's a lot of women like, nah. No, it's true. I'm gonna say it right here. It's tied into our emotions. It's times where I be like, I don't feel like having sex. I don't feel like having sex. I'm just having a crappy day. I don't feel like doing nothing. But sometimes dude be like, you know what? I could have some sex right now because it might make me feel better. You know, like it's the opposite. You get what I'm saying? Like if a woman come home, okay, woman had a long day at work. She comes home, she's tired, she kicks off her feet, removes her bra. That's what we do, not necessarily in that order sometimes, but that's the first things we do. Then we sit down, and let's say our man is there, and he's like, oh, babe, how was your day today? Oh, I had a stressful day, this, that, that. and then, you know, he starts rubbing the feet and everything like that. A man's immediate thing is not to say, oh, well, I'm going to just give her some head because that might make her feel better, because we might be like, no, I don't feel like doing it right now. You know, I don't feel like having sex right now. I feel like talking and getting this off my chest. But a man come home from a long day at work, and wife is up there and she hunch, and you remove your tie and remove everything and, you know, get all comfortable, and you talk about your day, and then you're like, babe, you want some head? Like, you know what? I do want some head. Like, you know, like, you know, because I think that might make me feel better. You know, and it's telling me that you know, you care about me and you want to give me some head. So, like, it's because men don't want to do a lot of talking. They don't want to come home and talk about their job. They'd rather leave the job at the job. When they come home, they'll say sanctuary. They want to sit in there. They want to just relax and chill. Sometimes something major may happen at the job, and they might spend like 5 minutes on it, but then they quickly get off of it. And then they're like, well, so what's up with you? You trying to...
I've noticed as I've gotten older that statement that you made isn't always necessarily true. I think it's more of a maturity thing when it comes to guys. Guys does not reach that maturity level of coming home and having conversation with their woman, I believe, till after they reach the age of maturity. Now that could be 35, 36, anything I think past the 30s. Now I'm finding myself more enjoying the fact that I can conversate and not always looking to, you know, for sexual relations. So I don't think that that's necessarily true, but I do believe that it's true. As we get older, we want to be more conversate, because when you get 40, what, you got a few strokes in you? You know what I'm saying? I'm still a 60-minute assassin, but at the end of the day, you know, you want to save some of that for a good time. You know, you don't have a whole lot of them left up in you. So it's definitely the maturity level when it comes to men and women. Women reach their maturity peak a little bit earlier than men. Men start to appreciate coming home and enjoying the fact of sitting down and, you know, and conversating. That's a young guy that's going to sit down and be like, that's all he want to do all day long. You know what I'm saying? When you was young, that's what you wanted to do. You wanted to hump like a little puppy all day long. As you get older, guys don't want to come home, and the first thing they might want to do is sit down and put the PlayStation on, or, you know, I used to want to come home and roll a L. I don't drink or smoke anymore, but that's what I used to do when I was acting all crazy. But, you know, guys, once they reach a maturity, a mature level, and again, it don't even have to be in their 40s. They just have to be able to appreciate coming home and enjoying what they have home. And a lot of times the reason why guys come home, because they don't really enjoy what they got home. So sex is their only, you know, output and say, well, you know, I enjoy this woman. Because some women don't have really good conversations. They don't know how to, and a lot of these young girls don't know how to conversate. I will never date young again. If you're under 35, you probably won't get a conversation from me. You know, because I'm just being honest.
You know
what I'm saying? It's because a lot of times women don't have that, they don't know how to conversate, and they don't know what to conversate about, and everything is about sex. Oh, what you did to me last night, oh, that's cool. All right, so what about the job? What about what you think about politics? Because now I'm finding myself wanting to talk about everything. You know what I'm saying?
And
my man said he disagreed.
Your mind is expanded beyond what, you know. Let me read some of these comments, because these comments are coming in crazy, honey. I want to thank Mr. Slidell for coming in, Capo Cuzzo for coming in.
That's my boy, Mike. What's going on?
So Mike, Tone the Artist is on here. Oh my gosh. There was a lot of people that joined in. I am DJ Chemo, Carmel Sexy is on here, Angel Next Level Detailing, you know. Somebody said Patrice O'Neal used to tear the audience up. Yeah, Tone, I remember Patrice O'Neal, rest in peace. Yeah, he was one of my favorite comedians. But yeah, all these comments are coming in, but careful, because like, I got to admit, I am about my peace and protecting my time and energy. And that's, you know, a lot of men are starting to realize, like, they want peace. They want peace. They don't want the rah-rah all the daggone time. Tone said, I disagree. Everyone decompresses differently. Of
course, but that's what I'm saying.
Everybody has their way of calming down from the day. Some people like to read. Some people like to listen to music. Some people like to play Call of Duty. Some people like to smoke. Some people like to have sex. It's all about how you choose to decompress from the day. Now, I realized as I'm getting older that men like to be listened to. They like to talk and be listened to. Not just you hear them, you know, how if you hear me, you know, no, we like to listen, like they like us to listen to them as well. And not listen to respond, but listen to listen. And that as women get older and as we're getting into this age where there are a lot more men opening up about that being what they want, now women know what the goal is. See, a lot of times men were quiet about how they felt in a relationship, and instead of just telling the woman, they would just go out and they just mess with another woman who is seemingly giving them what they're not getting at home, instead of just talking and saying, this what I like, this what I don't like. Because I'm not gonna lie, at one point in time, women were like, man, if you don't man up, you talk about your feelings and stuff, I don't want to hear all that. Like, and there was like a big stigma against men sharing their feelings about anything. So now that we know that this is what I know, now that I know that this is what men want, then when I get with a man, it also doesn't hurt to ask, like, what do you want out of this relationship? What do you want this to be? What kind of conversations would you like to have? What do you like? You know, sometimes the attraction, the man to woman, the man don't mind sitting there, listen to a woman run her mouth. They're like, there's a light at the end of this tunnel, right? You know, and women, they be like, you know, I know he just want to just mess with me, so, you know, I'm going to talk his ear off for a little bit, and then we just going to do the other one. But now it's like, men be like, I be wanting to talk too, like, okay, how was your day, honey? My day was great. How was yours? And really genuinely mean it. Like, how was yours? Like, how was work today? How was your day? And the guy's like, oh, like when the guy say work is work, like, he obviously is not there yet to just talk about it. But like, if he actually like confides in you and he trusts you enough, that's another thing, trusting. If he trusts you enough to say, you know, today wasn't that great. You know, my boss is giving me crap. You know, it's up to us to be like, you know what? Let me listen to him, because there might be some pent up aggression somewhere, and he might be slamming doors, and we're like, why he got an attitude? And we don't know why, because we're not asking, you know? So yeah, it definitely is a two-way street. Definitely is.
So one of the things that also me and Molly was talking about is you know,
he talking about this Molly guy. I don't know who this Molly guy is.
We ain't gonna get in that conversation.
But go ahead.
One of the things me and bro was talking about is you know, back in the day, how black men were more accessible in the house because of you know, everything that they've been through. I think that we now live in a generation where there's a lot of I might get scalped for this, but it's some really wimpy behind, you know, guys that's out here. Now, it ain't all bad, because it'll almost be like I'm saying that I'm going against what I'm believe in. But these new age guys are a little bit, they're a little wimpy. And I think one of the reasons for that is the one that stirs up from, you know, not having a good parenting system at the home, and two, that comes from them not being able to express themselves, or thinking that it's wimpy to go out and, you know, talk to somebody about having emotional issues. Now, what do you think about that, being a Black woman?
So, like I said before, there was this stigma where men could not share their emotions. They could not cry. It was always told to man up, be strong. Yeah. But sometimes strength comes in expressing how you feel, because it can lead to an understanding, and maybe that man will be able to go throughout life better, knowing that he was able to communicate his feelings. People are able to understand them, and then we can go from there and, you know, deal with them as such. The men today, I would say, as far as like a feminine type of way of being, yeah, I mean, I get that too, but they are also opening doors for people to be more expressive about how they feel, and how they talk about their problems. Now is allowing other men to say, okay, this is okay. This is okay for me to share my feelings. It's okay for me to. But are you talking about as far as like they are possessing qualities that are given very much feminine energy, like being a gossiper or something like that?
I'll give you a scenario, something I actually went through. Okay.
Okay.
I used to work at the KFC up here. I was a manager up here on Broad Street. And I used to talk to the kids a lot. And one of the kids had broke. I let them borrow my headphones, and he broke them. So, you know, I'm big on talking to people. So what I did was I fixed the headphones and I gave it to him again, and I gave him a quote from the scripture. And it was one that said that a guy went up to Jesus, and he asked Jesus, he said to him, you know, how many times should I forgive my brothers? And to make a long story short, Jesus said 70 times 70. So I let him borrow the headphones again. So at the end of the night, while we're all cleaning up, I just was talking to him about, you know, how you young people don't understand when somebody's trying to express to you love. And what he told me actually broke my heart. He said to me that I never really experienced love. He said, my father's locked up, and the only person that raised me was my mom. And then he said, a lot of my friends, I can't really trust them either. He said, so, you know, I don't know whether or not somebody's trying to show me love or it's just fake. So you have a lot of these kids that's out there that don't know how to express themselves because they never really were shown how to be a man. Now, if you go back in the day, men had to deal with segregation. They had to be more stronger, you know. And what they taught us was, what are you crying for? Well, you just whooped my behind. Why do you think I'm not going to cry? Or I fell and I scraped my knee. I was told that if I fall, I scrape my knee to dust it up, get up, you know, and be a man. Don't cry about it. You know, well, if it hurt, you know, that's a human emotion. You know, I think what happened is people forgot that we're human. And even though a man is supposed to be a man, at the end of the day, it doesn't make you a wimpy man to cry. What makes a man wimpy is that he don't handle his responsibilities. What makes a man wimpy is he don't take care of his kids. what makes a man wimpy is that he can't take care of himself. He can't provide for himself. He can't go out and do the things that men do to survive in this society. Not crying. So we need to get that out of our brain system, that when a man cries, he considers himself to be a wimpy guy. That's what I'm talking about. Now, what would you, as a woman, how do you feel about that?
Well, not only am I a woman, but I am a boy mom. So I would want my son to feel safe enough to express how he's feeling. And if it's through tears, then so be it. But what's happening, and this is why a lot of people act out violently, is because they're not able to express themselves emotionally. And so it's getting pent up, and all this aggression is getting pent up. And the only way that they can release that pent up aggression is by being aggressive towards someone. I don't want my son to lash out at someone. So anytime he feels like he's not at his best, I would want him to tell me that. And I do not shame, him for feeling how he feels. Now, when I was younger and I had a younger mindset, yeah, I did say stuff like that. And and that could be the reason why my brother is the way he is towards me today, because I was like, you don't need to be crying. So he does not really express emotion around me like that. And now that I'm older, I feel regretful that I made him feel unsafe to tell me he was not feeling his best. He was upset and everything like that, because now he doesn't express any emotion like that to me. So it's also a learning thing. And then also women are also told in our community, we got to be strong. We got to be this. We got to be that. We got to be the backbones of our family. We got to, have all these responsibilities before we're even, before we even reach puberty. So, and we gotta know the tread the line, and not, we gotta walk on eggshells around people, and just know our place and all this stuff. So all this rhetoric is being thrown at us. So we're told to be strong too, but we can still express our emotions, because people realize that women are emotional creatures, right? And it's not manly to be emotional. But listen, there's a difference between being emotional and having emotions.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have emotions. You're a human being. So if you're hurt, you're hurt. If you're sad, you're sad. If you're happy, you're happy. You have emotions. Now, to be emotional and act on those emotions, pretty much making a permanent decision based off of temporary circumstances, that's doing too much. You get what I'm saying? That's being, I guess, feminine or wimpy or whatever. But to answer your question, and I hope I answered your question in the midst of me talking, I feel that, because you probably wait, here it comes, wait for it.
No. I'm actually enjoying this.
I feel that men should be able to express themselves and be heard. All right. I recently did a episode. One of my episodes was talking about the sexual assault on men via female predators, which is not a topic that is discussed.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the thing about it is that one of the reasons why that topic came to mind is because, I am a boy mom, and I'm looking at things differently, because I'm not raised him by myself. His father is very much in his life. But I know that, my son, if he's out here, it doesn't matter if it's a man or a woman, if they know they can take advantage, they're going to take advantage. If their heart is like that, if they have no heart and they are in the position to take advantage and they want to take advantage, I don't want my son to be a victim of that, whether it be female or male. So now I'm on this whole thing where my mindset is being changed. I'm starting to look at things a little differently. And when it comes to my son, I don't want nobody to hurt him because I'm going to hurt somebody. You get what I'm saying? You know, that's
Absolutely.
my only baby. You know what I'm saying? But I don't want nothing to happen to him, and I don't want him to ever feel like he can't come to his mom and talk about anything and everything on his mind. And I don't want him out in the world because it's bad enough he already got to deal with all this stuff. Just he's a black male, so automatically there's stuff that comes at him just for being a black male. You get what I'm saying? And now
Absolutely.
there's other stuff that can happen on top of that. So I'm really much trying to understand men in a way where I can be that safety net for my son. So that's why I do this. That's why I had these conversations and these talks. The discussion started somewhere totally differently, but you know, we end up talking about other things based off of that initial topic, and that's great, and I love it because that helps me gain an understanding of someone else and someone else's point of view. And I'll be honest, like if everybody thought like me, this world would be so boring. I would be so unenthused. I would be like, oh, you agree? I don't have nobody to debate with. Like, I want a challenge. I wouldn't feel challenged at all if I didn't have someone with a different point of view, different from mine. So,
Well, I'm glad you didn't hear my rendition of making a band in my sheets.
what? What?
Oh man, I said I'm glad you didn't hear my rendition of making the band in my sheets. Do 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 do.
No. You know this gonna be archived, right? You know this gonna be up. You like, I don't care.
I haven't cursed not one time. I haven't said anything raunchy.
That's true. That's true. I'll give it to you. I know I done cussed a few times on here so far, so I'm not
Nah,
squeaky clean.
if you notice, I don't curse anymore. I curse when I have to be really, 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 really pissed off.
Like if somebody
No,
take your food? No. Okay.
that's not gonna make me curse. The
Because I
worst
know that
time,
would piss me off.
yeah, no, I don't get. It's really hard to like get me in like a state where I'm really like upset. I done calm down so much. Me and you
I
have,
see.
yeah. I calm down a whole lot. Don't drink, don't smoke, don't cuss.
You're
That,
boring. So,
that it took a long time to get this way.
oh my gosh. Let me read some of these comments. Wait a minute.
Yes,
First of all, I want to thank LaShia. She is so incredible. Thank you for joining Think Different TV. I am Austin Official. Thank you. Ramrock Speaks. Thank you for joining in Think Different TV. Let me see. Capo Cuzzo says a lot of snakes and fakes in the times are demasculinity towards the male race, especially the black male. These young fellas can't take a punch or anything that hurt their pride.
absolutely.
I will say that, you know, like I said, people are a lot more sensitive than they were back in the early, like I'm gonna go back to the early 2000s. Like I remember that, you know, Will Smith in the 2000s wasn't even thought to do the thing that he did in 2022. You know what I'm saying? They wouldn't even cross his mind.
Yeah,
It
absolutely.
wouldn't even cross his mind.
Well,
And
his wife wasn't being what's the word she used? she wasn't being swindled at the time. She wasn't. What did she call? She didn't have. She wasn't being entangled at the time. But who? But who?
Let me tell you something about that. That whole situation. The only reason why that situation hurt Will, and I'm just speculating because I don't know what goes on inside that man's head, but I think one of the things that made that hurt the most is because they pretty much had an arrangement. See, marriages, their marriage, everybody was like, even I at one point in time, I was like, oh, they are relationship goals. What I didn't see is that their marriage was strictly contract. Okay? There was some love there at the beginning. But over time it just became a contract. They realized how much they could lose by going through a divorce. Remember that saying, it's cheaper to keep her?
Yeah.
Well, I think it got to that point where he was like, if I was to divorce her, what exactly would that mean for me?
Let me say something about that. Jada Smith, whatever that child's name is, she's not a top tier actor, and she hasn't been in years. Okay, her bread or the money that they make comes off that man's back. He put her in Ali, and she wasn't even the main wife. Think about that. She was the side piece.
Mm-hmm.
You remember that? Now, how many other movies did he played in that was big that Jada wasn't in? And he could have easily put her in some of those movies. Bad Boys, he could have been in Bad Boys. It's just not like she's a bad actor. It's just like when we book somebody, we don't say, okay. Now, would have been cool if they was cool if they would have did another G.I. Jane movie. That was a setup right there. That would have been perfect. That would have been a perfect starring role for her. Perfect. She's got the build for it. I was expecting for that. When I heard the joke, I would have been like, oh man, you upset about that? He just gave you a movie. A movie that probably people would have been like, you know what, that sounds like a then Will did that she did the dumb stuff, and now no G.I. Jane 2 for her.
But you know what? It's so dumb. Like, didn't she shave her head at the end to set it off? Didn't she shave her head bald at the end to set it off?
Yeah, it was. She's always, to me, she's always had short.
And she shaved her head.
Yeah, she's always had short hair, but not bald. Like, it wasn't like this. It wasn't like this. But it was short.
But my thing was that it wasn't nothing. But people was like, oh, well, on G.I. Jane, the main character, Demi Moore played. She ended up having an affair on her husband with a younger guy or something in the movie, and I was like, I don't remember all that. I was like, maybe I gotta watch it again because I don't remember all that. But I don't think that's where Chris Rock was coming from with it. But I don't know. I don't know what be going on in people's minds. I'm not here to speculate on what's going on in other people's minds. All I'm saying is that as far as the situation with Will and Jada and Chris Rock and August Alsina, they are human beings. They are celebrities. They're like false idols. We shouldn't be putting a lot of energy into or a lot of stock into what they do and what they say, because
the problem is with that is, and this is what I always say, If you don't want people in your business, don't put it on social media, because once it's on there, you can't take it off. Once
Mm-hmm.
it's in the net, once it's in the internet airwaves, somebody can always pull it up. It never really gets deleted,
Yep.
especially if you're a celebrity. So everything that's going on in their lifestyle right now, they kind of bored it. You took your son's best friend to a award show, and you didn't think that there was nothing wrong with that? Come on now. Come on now. Now, if anybody will, and I've been saying this for a long time, anybody that Will should have been slapping was that little young boy. He should have slapped him all up in the mitt, because I would have.
But I don't think he. I
I
don't
would have
think it was
slapped
so
him.
much he was mad about him having sex with his wife. I think it was more
I would
like
have slapped him.
you
Keep your mouth
told
closed.
people, keep your mouth
Yeah, keep
closed,
your
keep your
mouth
mouth closed.
closed. I would have slapped him.
Yep,
You
he
would.
purely did that so that he can get some clout. He had a
I would have.
new album coming out. He wanted to, you know, build something around that. Messed up terribly. It backfired. It didn't get him more clout. It didn't help anything. It was terrible. Terrible execution. He would have just been better off just releasing the album and just call it a freaking day. But
Well,
so we talked about Chappelle being attacked, talked about the death of Kevin Samuels, talked about the social topic, women have more access to sex than men do. Um, it's 12 o'clock. I don't usually be going this long, but you know what? That's my show. I do what I want. But I am gonna wrap it up because I gotta do this financial tip, and I'm gonna call it a night. Maybe I should do a part 2. I don't know. I'll play around with it, but I thank you so much, Barry, for joining me on Think Different TV. I appreciate your point of view and your conversation.
absolutely. Toodles and doodles.
All right, go ahead and get some sleep. I know you need sleep.
Oh no, I gotta be up at 4 o'clock, so I got like 4 hours. I'm out
Yeah,
of
go
here.
ahead. Do what you gotta do, brother. So I love when people jump on here and share their points of view because it helps me understand, people more and understand that there is other points of view other than my own. And that's what Think Different TV is all about, guys. That's what it's all about. And Think Different TV would not be made possible if I did not have amazing sponsors, which are Anointed Ads. Anointed Ads is an award-winning graphic design website company. 14 years in the making, over 100 websites created. This guy, Phil, he is about his business. I'm telling you, when I tell you he has eye-catching designs, he creates flyers and websites with eye-catching designs that you just know it's an Anointed Ad when you see it. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, this guy is amazing. Okay, so when you're ready to get your project started, make sure you hit up Anointed Ads right here on Instagram. You can follow him here on Instagram at Anointed Ads. That's ANOINTEDADS. You can check out his website at www.anointedads.com so you can get an idea, a feeling of what kind of website he will be able to create for you, because of course he created his own website. And you can also like him on Facebook at Anointed Ads. When you're ready to get your project started, however, you can give him a call at 609-534-0237. And when you mention Think Different TV, you tell him LaShia sent you, he'll take 15% off. So do not waste time debating whether or not you should get their website started. Listen, you got somebody that will do it for you, and he'll take 15% off of your first project with him when you mention Think Different TV. So keep that in mind. Now, the other sponsor I have is Euphoria Water. Euphoria Water is the cleanest, healthiest water in Philly. Alkaline water with minerals, no additives, no chemicals. It is so good, so refreshing. It is anti-aging, anti-inflammatory, detoxifying, hydrogen-rich, antioxidant, and alkalized. You know, the highest alkaline is medical grade water. It's so good. Like, if you're going to hydrate the right way. All right? Get you some Euphoria Water today. In order to place your order, you want to go to Euphoria Water right here on Instagram. That's UPHORIAWATER. Or if you live in the Philly area and you want it delivered to your home, talk about like big behind jugs like this. Gallons, baby. Gallons. You just call Captain at 267-707-8279. Tell him what you want. He'll deliver it. No problem. So that is Euphoria Water. Love it, love it, love it. Let me take a sip right now because I'm a little parched. Feel like I've been talking all night, and I probably have been. So we're gonna jump into this financial tip. So I was talking about, like, if you had any questions about, you know, if you have any questions about life insurance, income protection, anything like that that you wanted to know, firsthand knowledge right here, I got it for you. I wanted to clear up some myths about life insurance, income protection. Just wanted to say that income protection is just that. It protects your income. So when you pass on, your children and your significant other can live the same lifestyle they're living now. I mean, living after your death that they are living right now while you're here. And you do not want to leave your family in the lurch. There's so many things, so many situations that I've seen where this has been the case. Young woman passed on, did not have income protection. Family was scrambling around trying to get some money together just to have the burial, and, you know, did a GoFundMe. My thing about it is, it's like, okay, sometimes death is unexpected. We do not know our death date. We do not know when we're going to leave this earth. It's a big surprise, right? Now, and that's why people kind of live their life the way they live it, because they're like, you know, I don't know when I'm going to go, and, you know, I'm just going to live my life the way I live it, right? So sometimes when it's not a part of your education, when you come up, when you are in a society or in a community where it's not a topic of discussion, it's something that doesn't cross your mind. I knew that I needed income protection. I knew that I needed it, but I didn't put it in place until I had my son. If I had a little bit more education on how beneficial it would be to get it when I was younger than that, because I had my son when I was 28. If I had a little bit more information on how much money I would save getting it when I was much younger, like 25, 24, I could have saved me some money. I could have got much more coverage. And it just would have been a better situation all the way around, because then when I finally had my son, I could have just added him onto my policy while already paying a low rate. So education is very important. I want to make sure that I educate people on this, because it's very important to have this information. Like, And I do it for free. I'm telling you, I'm giving y'all the hot piping tea for free. Okay. So y'all don't have to go and say, oh, I got to sit down with this person. Because some people, financial advisors, when you're licensed, when you have that good old Series 65 under your belt, you can charge for financial advice. And I'm not at that point yet. I don't have my Series 65. So I'm giving y'all the tea as much as I can within the scope of what I know and the information that I have retained to make sure that y'all have the information right here piping hot for you. I also realized, because this is a thing that is always said to you, life insurance is something that you qualify for. It's not something you just buy, which was a myth. Something that I thought, you could just go and just buy life insurance. You didn't have to qualify for it. Because it seemed like it was so easy for people to get life insurance, but they just wasn't doing it. They just was not getting life insurance, but it was so easy for them to get it. I thought maybe it was just something you just bought, right? But it's something that you actually have to qualify for. Got good health. You have a good source of income, because I want to make sure that you're going to be able to keep the policy in place. We do not want people to end up having a policy that lapses. So we want to sit down with people who have good health. They also, if you have any kids, it's good to put them on the policy as well, get some coverage for them. And I already explained the reasons why in a earlier episode, why that is so, why you should put a child rider on your life insurance policy is very important. It's on one of my older shows, so if you want to check that out, you just check out my IGTV series, Think Different TV, and it's in the description, so of the episode. So you want to just have these things in place for future. You want to make sure that your plan is set. Now, my thing is a lot of people say, oh, life insurance costs too much. There we go. Life insurance costs too much. That's why I choose not to get life insurance. Cost versus value. Also talked about this on another show too, but I'm going to revisit this topic. Cost versus value. Now, I don't want to think of my income protection as a cost. Why? Because it's a necessity. I need that in place, especially with a young son, and especially when I don't know my death date. And I know that he is living a certain lifestyle now that if, heaven forbid, I get taken out this earth, I want him to still live the same lifestyle. So I'm going to make sure something's in place for him. You get what I'm saying? I don't want him to feel, because he's young right now. But there is resentment that older children feel, because I can't tell you the amount of times where there have been older people who were like, oh my gosh, I can't believe she didn't have any life insurance in place. Now I got to come out of my pocket and pay for this out of pocket, or I got to put my, I got to refinance my home just to, pay for a funeral service, or I got to take out a loan, or I got to do all this crazy stuff. I got to start a GoFundMe, or I got to I think that's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. Well, once you're off this earth, it's not going to embarrass you much because you're dead and gone, right? But it's embarrassing to your children when you don't have anything in place, because now they have to humble themselves and go and ask other people to contribute to your funeral service. Like, how fair is that? That's not fair at all. I'm like, I love my parents. You get what I'm saying? But I can't say that I wouldn't be a little resentful if they did not have anything in place when they passed on. Because it's like you didn't care about your family enough to make sure that they at least have money to bury you. I could say this time blue in the face, but I think it's selfish. I think it's selfish, and I think that we need to get out of this selfishness. Like, one guy told me straight up, like, my kids, and I know I probably said this on another episode, but it hit me right here, hit me right here in the heart when he said it. Like, they ain't gonna get a come up off of me. Who are you talking about? Your kids? Like, first of all, sir, they didn't ask to be here. You laid down with their parents and had relations, and now it's a baby here. You get what I'm saying? So to make it sound like they just want to take advantage of you, but you created them. Like, your balls provided the semen to make this child, or these children. So you can't then turn around and be like, oh, they're not gonna have a come up off of me, like there's some strangers off the street. Like, you created them. And I was angered by that, and I was triggered by it, because I'm like, that type of mentality has no place around me. Like, I don't like that negative mentality being around me. And for you to say that and say, oh, I don't want them to have a come up off of me. Well, what kind of come up? Just to have enough money to bury you. They ain't gonna have no money left over. So what kind of come up are you talking about? Or what if you didn't pass suddenly? What if you had like these crazy hospital bills, and yeah, you had health insurance, but the health insurance didn't cover all of the bills. Like, it's still out of pocket expenses. Who gonna pay it? Not you did. So make sure there's enough money left so that your kids can take that money and pay your hospital bills with it. Pay off, like, if you have a home, a mortgage on the home that you was in the middle of paying before. Like, you was all over Facebook, all over social media, bragging about, I got a home. Well, not necessarily brag, like some people brag, but I'm talking about like just sharing the good news. I bought a home, this, that, and the third, and you still have a mortgage on this home. You'll have no income protection in place. So, like, all that hard work you put into buying a home and doing all this stuff is now going to be in vain because you didn't protect it. You didn't protect it. Now, people are like, oh, well, I got home insurance. That doesn't protect that. Your home insurance is to protect your home. Income protection is to protect your income. So the thing that, how do you think home insurance is going to help in that instance? Home insurance is if something happens to your home, like it's a fire or something like that. It's supposed to protect your home, to compensate you or make you whole after you lose your home. Income protection is to protect your income, that is keeping your home as part of your assets. So you're paying a mortgage from what you get paid, from your income, right? So when you're no longer here and you're not here to make the income, what's going to happen? You can't make the income doesn't exist, your mortgage doesn't get paid, you lose your home, your family loses the home that you done built up all this time to get, and now you don't have it anymore. Why? Because you didn't put that other critical piece of the puzzle in place and make sure that you had income protection. Another myth or another misconception about life insurance. When I say it costs too much, okay, and I talked about cost versus value. So did y'all know that y'all can get if you're healthy and you qualify for a term life insurance, you know you can get a policy for like $100,000. You pay like $60 a month. Oh, and it depends on your age too. So if you are younger, like if you're like 25, 26, it's going to cost a lot less than $60 to put a policy in place. And that's monthly. Now, how many of y'all spent more than $60 in a month on something that, okay, let's talk about food, right? What happens to food? You buy food, right? I'm sure it's been times that you bought food, had food in your refrigerator that you let go bad and had to throw out. You think about all that waste, all that food you had to throw out, and you calculated it up and everything like that. And you think about the cost of that food that you had to throw out. Is it more than $60 a month? Just think about it. I know people that spend more than that in a day on transportation and Wawa. Wawa is like a good $40 of it. And then $20 for the you know, or they might spend that amount of money in a day for Uber. In a day for Uber. But you won't take $60 if you qualify for a term life insurance and get coverage in place for the entire month. Pays for the entire month. And then you just pay the next month, pay the next month. And then they have it so that you can actually pay quarterly, semi-annually, and annually. You know, when we get our nice little tax refund, that could be one of the things that you say, you know what? I'm just going to nip this in the bud. I'm, you know, so that $100 whatever dollars or $60 or whatever doesn't come out every month, I'll just pay it up front at the beginning of the year, wipe my hands of it, and then guess what? I don't have to worry about it for a while. For a whole year, until you get that good old tax refund, you can time it. You can time it. So, I've put people in policies, young people. I've put them in policies like they like 24 years old. I put them in policies for like $17 a month, and it was giving them $60,000 in coverage. $17 a month, and they was getting $60,000 in coverage. All right. So that means, you know, God forbid something happened to them, and that price is locked in. Like if they want to just stick with $60,000 in coverage, that's cool, right? They stick with the $60,000 in coverage, and they say that they don't want it to go up. They don't want no more coverage than that, and they want to just stop it or whatever. That's cool. And they just pay that $17 for the rest of their life until their policy is up and that term ends, which is I put that person in a 35-year policy. So for 35 years, they're paying $17 for $60,000 in coverage. Now, maybe a little bit later down the line, they might want to up the coverage because, you know, circumstances may change. They may have more income that they have to protect. All right. They may have more bills, more assets that they have, or liabilities. Like they might have a car or something like that, you know, or something like that they have come into or bought or whatever like that. And they want to make sure that their income protection matches what they got going on presently in their life. That's another thing. Your coverage should fall in line with your current income. So it shouldn't be like if you're making this, you're getting income protection like this. Like it should match. It should definitely match. You shouldn't be sitting there like, oh, well, I can get like a $10,000 policy, but you got like all these student loans and credit card bills that amass way more than $10,000. But you're like, I'm just going to get enough for the burial. But your bills don't die when you die, they still carry on. Like, instead of you getting harassed, your next of kin is gonna get harassed about a stupid bill. Like, can we like not make this the norm? Can we not start people off at zero every time? Can we make this so that they're able to take care of all of your financial stuff after you're gone? It's just crazy. So that's something else that I wanted to talk about. Another thing is and it was just sparked by what I just said. So I was talking about making sure that you have the income that matches and everything like that, and making sure that you get enough coverage that covers not only your final expenses but also all of your bills and everything like that. What sparked that? Okay, so the next thing that I want to talk about is, where should that check go when it's delivered to your family? Okay, of course, when they cash it, they're gonna take care of your final expenses, but where does the rest of the money go? Let's say you were on top of your game and you said, listen, I'm gonna get $300,000 in coverage. I'm gonna make sure that my funeral expenses are taken care of. Maybe your funeral expenses was only like $20,000, so now you got $280,000 left over. So and maybe your bills may have been 80 or whatever. So no, wait a minute. You had 300,000 in coverage, 20,000 for the funeral, so now you got 280 left. Now you got $80,000 in like student loans or whatever you want to say or whatever. So subtract that 80,000. So now you left with $200,000. Now, what should someone do with that check? Now, and this is for people, like, this is just knowledge for people that know that their significant other has a policy in place already, or you have a parent that has a policy or whatever like that. Encourage the person that has the life insurance policy to get a mutual fund. This is why. When that check is delivered to you, simply putting it into a savings account, you're not going to get much of a return off of that money. All right. And if it's over $250,000, that banks are FDIC insured for up to $250,000. So if you have more money than that, like it insures each individual account. So you have $250,000 coverage on your savings account, your checking account, and any other miscellaneous things you got going on with the bank. But it has to be all in separate accounts. Now, if you have more than $250,000 that you have received as a death benefit, as a payout to you, you can't put all of that in your savings account. Why? Because if it's over $250,000 and something happens to that bank, like for whatever reason it's dissolved or whatever, you're only insured up to $250,000. So if you had like $400,000-$500,000 in your savings account, it's not insured. So unless you split it up into different accounts, right? So you have to open up multiple accounts to make sure that all the money is separated and that is all individually insured. Now, you don't want to put a large amount in your checking account because it's going to be itchy fingers to go and spend it, right? And you might have second thoughts about opening another checking account with that same bank because you're like, there's too much going on in one bank. The best thing to do is to take that money and put it into the mutual fund. Why? Because you get a higher rate of return on your investment. You're able to take from it and know that the money is growing at a more rapid pace. that when you take that money out to take care of whatever expenses, a mortgage payment or whatever, by that same time the next month, it might be close to the same amount that you extracted from before. So let's say you had $250,000 in there, and you said, okay, I'm going to take out 500 to pay for this, whatever it is, right? Well, when you take that out of the mutual fund, you're simply just moving it from your mutual fund over to your checking account, right? That takes like 2 to 3 business days. And you don't have to pay it back. All right. So it's not like you're borrowing from your mutual fund. So erase that out of your mind, because it's not a loan or anything you're taking from there. And let's say by that time next month, you might have amassed like $300. So really, you in essence only spent $200. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense, because it's growing at a higher rate of return than being in the savings account. Because based off the rule of 72, the banker's rule, whatever your interest rate is for your savings account, you divide that number into 72, and they'll tell you how many years it will take for your money to double. So if you get a 1% interest rate, it'll take 72 years for your money to double. And nobody got time like that to be waiting for it to double like that. So and that tells you, like, if it takes that long for it to double, you like, how much will it be before you get $100 in there, $200 in there, $300 on top of whatever you have in there. So that's something else. When you have large amounts of money, do not put it in the bank. I'm probably going to get crucified for this, but if you got large amounts of money like that, you get an inheritance or whatever, do not put it in the bank. Banks are not good. They're not good. It's not good. You should not do that. Because banks are in the business of loaning your money and investing your money. So, and that's how they stay afloat. So you want to have the upper hand. You want to be able to, when they invest that money, they make 12% off of your money. Like, why would you want that to happen? You can get a return on your investment if you do it yourself too. So that's why I say get a mutual fund. And then when you have a life insurance payout, you can just put that money into that mutual fund so that it can grow. And it's just a helpful tool. It's a helpful tool. Just like when you have a 401k or whatever, and you're about to leave the job or whatever, and you cash out your 401k, don't put it in the bank. The best course of action would be to just start a mutual fund and move that money over, and let it have, so you can get a higher return on your investment. But as far as life insurance, aka income protection, is concerned, these are the things that I get asked all the time. Oh, here's another thing. How soon can we expect payout? Well, barring that there's no anything that's keeping us from being able to pay you out, you get the payout in like 2 weeks. Sometimes sooner. It really just depends. But you have to send in the death certificate and all of that stuff, and verify that the person, the primary insured, is indeed deceased. And then we'll send out the proceeds, and we hand deliver the check. We do not send it in the mail. The agent that's in charge of the policy will be the one to deliver the check to the family. Another thing is, what if I want to cancel my policy and I what if I find something more affordable and I want to change my policy? Well, this is something that has been done. Okay, as an agent, I would like for my clients to come to me if they feel like they looked up something, they did their research, and they found something that's more affordable for them. That's all fine and good. My thing is, what are your benefits? What are you getting from paying that as opposed to what you get with my policy that I've locked you into? Now, some people just go off the cuff and just cancel the policy and just get the new policy, not knowing what the new policy is giving them. What they just look at the cost. That's why you gotta not look at the price. You gotta look at the value. Look at the value of what you're getting, not the price. Because the benefits that come with my plan, I know there's a lot of life insurance agencies that are not offering the same benefits. So when you go and you say, oh, well, I'm going to go and get this because it costs less, well, what are you trading to bring down that cost? Do they have the increase in death benefit rider? Do they have a child rider? Do they have a waiver? Do they have the disability waiver? Do they have the guaranteed insurability? Do they have the natural disaster clause? Do they have the terminal illness rider? Do they have these 6 things that's attached to their policy? Saying to me, oh, well, I got it because it costs less, and then you lock yourself into this new policy and cancel mine, and then you're then I ask you, what exactly do you get with it, and you can't answer me. Obviously you didn't do enough research, and the person that sold you that policy did not do their job to educate you properly into knowing what you're actually buying with your money. It's funny how people can know exactly what they're getting when they get one thing, when they're paying an amount towards one thing, but then they turn around and they just disregard it. They just disregard everything that comes with their policy as soon as they see a lower price. But they don't do any research. They research yours to the T. They want to know each and everything. Why am I paying this amount? You give them a whole rundown. And then as soon as they see a lower cost for the same, not even the same thing, when they see a lower cost for income protection, they think it's the same thing. They say, I'm just switching over to this because it's a lower cost. They don't do no research on the other thing. They don't even know if the person is going to pay out the policy. They don't know the procedures. They don't know none of that stuff, but they're just quick to switch over because of the cost. And then later on, they want to come to you well, can you tell me more about the policy that I have? I'm the policy that you went and got, that's not my policy. Well, I need to see a copy of the policy to tell you what exactly you're receiving, because I don't know exactly what they receive. Now, I know if you tell me there's a whole life policy, I can tell you about a whole life policy. If you tell me it's a term policy, I can tell you what you get with a term. But I don't know how long the term is, what the coverage is. I don't know none of that stuff. I don't know if they what is their payout, nothing like that. If you're gonna do research on one, do research on all. If you're planning on making the switch, ask the questions what makes your policy different from, I have this policy right now. I know that if I get your policy, I'm paying less, but what are you offering me that this company is not offering me? And are you offering the same thing plus that, or are you not offering something that they're offering and giving me that instead of what they offer? You have to ask these questions instead of just making a haphazard switch and then look at the initial agent oh, well, I just wanted to save money. Well, then okay, if it don't pay out or something happens with your policy, don't look at me like I did something wrong, because that was your decision with your money. So that's something that, do not cancel a policy until another policy is in place, of course. But also, if you have an agent that you can call at any time, or you can email them, or you're in contact with them, or if they are a relative of yours and you can get in touch with them, please reach out to them and say, hey, I was thinking of getting this policy. Can you look over the details? Because I just want to save me some money. Or you can ask that agent, well, hey, times are a little rough right now. I need to save a little bit of money because, is there any way I could bring the coverage down, or is there any way I can, amend my policy, which you absolutely can, because you are the owner of the policy. You can do whatever you want. Can I amend it so that I'm paying a little bit less, and then when I get back on my feet, I can, instead of just outright canceling it, because now you may not be able to get the price that you got before, because you know how they say, today's price is not yesterday's price. Yesterday's price is not today's price. So y'all canceling it, and then it's like, well, and then you try to jump back on the train and say, well, when I had it before, I was only paying $17 a month. Well, honey, guess what? You know why you was paying $17 a month? Because when you initially got that policy, you was 25 years old, and now you're 37, and you want me to put you in a new policy, and it's not going to be at 25 years old. It's going to be at 37 years old, because when you get a new policy, it's at your attained age, not the age you were when you got the initial policy. You canceled that policy, so actually that policy no longer exists. It's like you were never a client with our company. We can't honor that price because you decided to jump back on the train after you already canceled. So just want to throw that out. I know I said that with a little bit of aggression and passion in my voices, because this has happened so many times, and instead of just communicating with the agent and asking the agent what would be the best course of action, people just go and take action, and then later on want to ask questions. Or if you it's crazy, because it's like, why don't we, I guess this is a whole nother, you know what, this might be another topic entirely, because this is getting late. It's almost about to be 1 o'clock, but this is another topic. Why is it that when it comes to us, it's always like you have to be like the most polite, the most everything for people to give you their business, and you can be all that stuff and they still don't give you your business. They be like, oh, you're a good friend, but I'm going to go to this stranger over here and do business with them because I don't want to run the risk of something going wrong, and then that messes up our friendship. If anything, you should look at it like this. This is my friend, and they're going to make sure that I get the best value and the best everything because they're my friend, not look at it as, oh, this could be problematic in the future because what if something go wrong? Why do we always look at the downside and not the best of everything? So that's another thing. But that's a whole nother topic entirely. That has been my financial tips for y'all tonight. If y'all have any additional questions, y'all can definitely DM me on my financial coach page, KS Legacy Building LLC 1. All right. And ask me all the questions, because I don't charge for the information. If y'all want to know, I will tell you. Like, I have no problem with taking the time to educate someone. Even if it's just like a brief question, like, hey, what if I wanted to get this or I wanted to get that? Just let me know. I don't want it to be that someone's saying to me, oh, well, I didn't know and you didn't tell me and blah, 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 blip. And I'll be looking at them like they crazy, because I'm like, I definitely did tell you. And I am always willing to give you information if you ask. Like, closed mouths don't get fed. So if you don't ask, I can't tell you. I can't give you the information. But if you say to me, hey, LaShia, I need help with this, or I need this, and it's something that is within my scope of practice, oh, definitely, I'm going to make sure that you get the information that you need. I'm going to make sure you get the information that you need. Like my door is always open. So that's it about that. So that wraps up my show, Think Different TV tonight. Again, I am your host, LaShia. I thank all of you for tuning in tonight and being a part of the show just by watching, and taking the time out and spending time with me. And I also want to thank Bari for jumping on and being part of the discussion for tonight on our social topics. And I also want to thank our independent artist spotlight, Tuxedo Braxton, for coming through and just giving us some history behind his music and sharing with us his gift. What else do I want to do? I also wanted to thank our sponsors. That's what I wanted to do. So our sponsors are Anointed Ads. Anointed Ads is an award-winning graphic design and website company, 14 years in the making, over 100 websites created. The guy, Phil, who runs this business, is a Black-owned business, and he's so professional, all right? He gets things done in a timely manner. He also checks in with you to make sure that you are satisfied with the product. And you just know an anointed ad when you see it because it has eye-catching designs, his websites, as well as his flyers. He did a flyer for Think Different TV that I use to promote all the time. He also did flyers for my financial business in the past. So I know that he was more than capable of doing the Think Different TV flyer. He takes his time. He makes sure he does it right and correct. And he is just a great guy. So make sure y'all go out and y'all support him. When you're ready to get that website created, when you're ready to get that flyer created for your business or for your event, make sure you hit up Phil at Anointed Ads. He's on Facebook. You like his page on Facebook. You can follow him on IG. That's Anointed Ads, ANOINTEDADS. You can check out his website, www.anointedads.com, so you can get more information on his products and see like an example of his work. And when you're ready to get your project started, you can give him a call at 609-534-0237. And guess what? When you mention Think Different TV, she sent me. He'll take 15% off of your first project. So very important to get over there and get that project started right away. And then our other sponsor is Euphoria Water. Euphoria Water is the cleanest, healthiest water in Philly. Alkaline water with minerals, no additives, no chemicals. If you're going to hydrate the right way and get your Euphoria Water today. You can place your order right here on IG at Euphoria Water. That's UPHORIAWATER. Or you can call Captain directly if you live in the Philadelphia area. He'll deliver these big gallons to you, right? He'll deliver on big gallons to you. So just call him at 267-707-8279. Place that order today. And you know what? Euphoria Water is so good. It's got people talking. And it's even got people making promo songs for Euphoria Water. So I'm going to play this Euphoria Water promo song to close us out for the night. It's done by Medusa Phil 215. Let's get it. I want to thank all of y'all for tuning in tonight. And as usual, it's been a pleasure. I love you all. And we're going to rock out. Hey. Well, let me buckles.
You got a job? Put it in the air. Yeah, just like that, empowerment. And if you don't, I want you to go over there and get a sip of me. Only thing that quenches my thirst is in my body. Only thing that's in my purse are in my interior. You just gotta see the air. No other. You scary too. Face glow, everybody not tight. I feel energy now before elevating height. I feel energy now before elevating height. When you sit, you know there's no better. With a power guarantee, you feel much better. imagination. I will never think. With the kid, now he's the kid I have tricks. We've been putting on for the thing, yeah. He's a kid back, yeah. Crazy about it, yeah. I'm coming by, drink with me, yeah. Get curious.
Bye.